Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed.
Salute, 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 salute. We are doing it up in here today. We're going to give a big shout out to my firstborn, Tiana, the Miracle Talks, all the way from the Cali, all them beaches. What's going on, Archangel? And then we got the brand new but never forsaken Jada LaRue. And then you got the one and only, the man, the one who is bringing that really positive, conscious community together, working together. He is Tough Love in the house. And then we got the woman when y'all be trying to figure out who in the world is that paid person. That's Brown Eyes. She's the one that's going to bring the administration and all of the data back into the house. And then my beloved, the star of the new movie hit, y'all shout it out for OG Patrice in the house. Then we got Derek Williams in the house. And the man that be making sure Uncle Stu is holding it down. He be making sure I stay right. Big Bad Bull is in the house. I just want to say thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Many people may not chase numbers, and I'm not a number chaser, but I know what I got to do to get where I got to go and to be able to do the things I have to do. And I want to send a big shout out. We are now up to 744 subscribers to date. So I want to thank each and every one of you. Get the message out. Get the word out. Uncle Stu got it going on right here, and he need more subscribers. We are fighting for the 1,000, and we can do this because we have a message, we have the strength, we have the will, and we're going to make this platform work beyond all understanding. For those that wasn't here last night, we had an awesome live stream last night, and the numbers, I ain't gonna lie, I have a team in the background, men and women both. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the numbers we looking at is awesome. We're really trying to figure out awesome directions. We already setting plans. Be on the lookout for Real Men Read. But because I have women, we're gonna have to figure out I don't want to use Real People Read because my brother Shannon is also doing a book list, and I'm doing a book list. So we are going to be doing a whole lot of book reading, because if you want to be wealthy, wealthy people read. If you want to grow, they read. If you want better knowledge and understanding of things, we read. And so over here, reading is not just going to be fundamental. It's going to start becoming mandatory, because we're going to be a growing community, not just an emotional, stagnated community. So understand that. So we're putting that together. The second thing, I've had a lot of people who has emailed me about the tragedy that happened a couple of days ago. And while a lot of people heard what I said on the TLA show, I don't take back what I said. But when it comes to me addressing this issue, I have to address it openly and fairly. Let me make it abundantly clear, and y'all get this word out. I have not seen one video. I have not seen one statement made by a content creator that gave this man authorization to do what he did. So my comments is not to justify the taking of a life of anyone. And I need that to be made abundantly clear. I am not justifying women to be hurt, murdered, or abused, no matter the situation. But there's a lot that does need to be unpacked. There's a lot that does need to be discussed. I've heard many content creators go from blaming Kevin Samuels to blaming the manosphere to blaming this to blaming that. There's a lot of blame. So allow me the time to be able to parse this together and give you my intellectual, analytical statements. Because I'm not one of these content creators that just want to be the first to say anything, and then a week later you apologizing because more information came out, and now you got to sit up there and apologize. And because I am an older man, I know I have a responsibility to myself, to my family, and you are my family. So I have a responsibility to you to give you a fair and open conversation. And if I have to do it on a live platform so that we can talk it out, fine, no problem. But the facts of the matter is, this is not an open and shut situation. There is accountability on both sides. And I know, as Tough Love always say, I'm about to piss somebody off in here. But the reality is, there is accountability on both sides. But I need you to allow me to put it together so that you can understand everything. Everything. I want to give a shout out to people that has emailed me, and I'm letting at least the men know. Yes, my brothers, we are in a war. Yes. Yes, my brothers, we do need to get some things politically correct. Yes, we do. Yes, my brother, we got some issues we need to deal with. Yes. And we're going to deal with those issues. We are. But you have to allow me a little time to come up with thoughts and a plan of action. In the meanwhile, don't you think that your emails is not getting read? Don't you think your comments is not getting read? I read every single email and I read every single comment. Those emails and those comments is what Uncle Stu take care of. Now, if you was coming on the platform, somebody else deals with you. But when you come to communicating, you communicate with me directly. So I just want to establish that. Again, I told you, I look at each and every one of you as a person, not as a number. A person, a human being. And your thoughts do matter. Let me say this to every man in my chat and at the sound of my voice. Your voice and your thoughts matter to me. Whether I agree with them or not, they still matter. I served in the United States military. I gave up my constitutional rights so that you can have the rights under this Constitution. That means freedom of speech, freedom of expression, the freedom to assemble against grievances against the government. That was your right. And no one has a right to take that from you. But I'm here to serve you. And let's do it right. Let's not be radical. Let's not act like we don't have people to talk to. Because we as men, we must say the standards, keep the standards, and raise the standard. And we're going to do that here. To my sisters in the chat, we need you too. I know the echo chambers, but we need you too. Together, each achieves more. So y'all keep coming and coming and coming. And as Jada LaRue keeps dropping, as y'all know, Frank Gooden has offered me a part in his play. And we're going to be talking more about that on Friday. So stay tuned for Friday, where you're going to meet Frank Gooden, OG Patrice, Vaughn, and several other cast members of this movie. And he is going to be the one to tell you all about the movie. Now, y'all didn't come here to hear me speak for 35 minutes. Y'all came because it was getting a little bit cold up in here. So y'all went and called this woman. when you was sitting at home and the air conditioner was a little bit on and yet it was cold outside, y'all called this woman. So when it got a little chilly in the Emancipated Studios, Uncle Stu had to call this woman. So, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the one and only. It's hot air.
Hey, how you doing today?
I am doing well, doing well. Salute, salute to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know.
I
I know.
I heard what you said.
Okay, let's talk.
I heard what you said and
Okay.
about what you're saying. And I do agree. But us in the Black community needs to learn how to communicate with one another. And that is our number one issue. I think we got mental health issues. We need to go see a counselor. And some of our Black men don't believe in going to see a counselor. They be like, I don't need to do that. And I believe if we communicate a little better, some of this stuff will stop happening.
Yeah, I think there's that's why I say give me a moment. There's a lot to go around. There's a lot to unpack.
And I have a 23-year-old son, and I do tell him that because I keep it 100 with him.
Right.
If you don't want to have no babies, wrap it up then, and you don't want to pay child supports. That is my number one thing to him.
Here's the double whammy if you go down that route. Yes, do I believe in discipline? Absolutely. But I also recognize a court system that's not equal.
I agree with that. I'm not saying,
and that's where it gets tough. When you got one power, let's just put it all out there.
Yeah, let's keep it 100. Let's keep it real tonight.
When you got a people of power who wants to give up that power. So if you as a woman is got all this power, and here I come and I say, well, I want some of that power. And you've been living under this power for the last 20, 30 years. You ain't gonna give it up as easy as oh, okay, sure. Here's some of my power. It's not gonna really happen that way. Now, you also have a situation where when you really look at the whole situation, some of us is totally unaware politically or socially, anything going on, because you got to remember what's normal for me may not be normal for you. Yes. The environment I grow up in that might be considered normal. Like you got some people that live under toxic roofs, and that's normal for them. Where you go, that's abnormal. Well, it's the same way. Meaning, you got a situation where let's just argue on a general basis. If women is living a normal life and everything is going good for them, they're not in the world going to see what's going on the male side because they're living a good life, right? Now, once the man begins to say, hey, life ain't all good, we all of a sudden, we can become cognitive dissonant. So let me take myself as an example.
Okay.
I grew up mother and father. My first wife, mother and father. Second one, mother and father. Well, mother passed away, but basically she grew up under mother and father, right? So that family dynamic is normal for me.
Yes.
I raised my kids, mother and father. By the time I got my divorce, my kids was grown and out the house. So they grew up under semi-normal structure, right? But now if I meet somebody that never had a father, that don't know the meaning of a father, and the only thing they know is mother and environment, and that environment is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. True. At least from what I can see from the outside looking in. Guess what? To them, that's normal.
Yes.
To me, I would be the oxymoron, the outlier. Okay. So now, when we look at it from that point of view, now we could take that same situation, that same scenario, and we could
Mhm.
say, well, wait a minute. It's normal for the woman who carried a child for 9 months is my baby, and therefore I am the one with the power. I am the one with the authority. I am the one who should be able to dictate. Well, if she come from that line of succession, that appears to be normal.
Yes, I agree with
But
that.
guess what? When you show her that is abnormal,
Mhm.
now you have a conflict.
Yes.
Because here's the reality: there's no more immaculate conceptions. If you believe in that Jesus, there's no more immaculate conception. So
Mhm.
now when a man says, hey, I love my child too,
Mhm.
I am father too, and I'm going to tell you, let me bring it, because I will bring this child up. All right, where did you go, Tiana? All right, I will bring her up.
Mhm.
A woman said the other day, and my daughter contradicted her whole entire statement. It's
Mhm.
online. I wasn't there for part of my daughter's life.
Mhm.
And on this live, I asked my daughter, I said, well, wait a minute, you had a grandfather, you had an uncle, you had all these strong men.
Mhm.
To sum it all up, none of these men can replace me.
True.
You see what I'm saying? But I
Mhm.
had a woman on TLA that said she's allowed to take the child away from the father, and she has the rights to do that. Why? Because she got an uncle, she got brothers, she got other males that can replace the father. And to her,
Mhm.
that's normal.
Yes, that's normal to her. Yes, some it's normal. I don't believe in that. I believe I had a two-parent home. My mom and dad was married for 47 years, and
Mm-hmm.
it's 7 kids. Okay, so but when I got divorced, I didn't see my parents argue like me and my ex-husband did. But that was normal. I mean, I wanted the two-parent home. I wanted the dog. I wanted all of that because I believe in that structure. I believe a black man should raise a black man because it takes a man to raise a man. I got 4 brothers, and my daddy did a damn good job by my brothers. It takes a man to raise a man. But
Oh,
at the
you're about to you really about to piss somebody off. Nah, that's
I'm
not
like,
what women say.
no,
Women don't say
it's
that.
nobody off.
Nah, you about to piss everybody off.
But
Okay,
it's
okay,
for
y'all heard it.
me.
Y'all heard it. You know, hey, that's not what the manosphere here. That's not what men here. We don't hear
Okay, but
that.
it
Y'all can do
takes
it on your own.
no. It was I had it when I had my son. It was 3 things we promised him: no prison, no criminal record, and no baby. He's 23 years old. We got all 3 of them. Okay. When I had my
Mhm.
son, I heard a YouTuber say, I'm bored black brothers, a black baby. I'm like, what? Who says that? When I
Mhm.
had my son, I was fulfilled because I wanted a son. Okay. And I wanted him to be special. And he is. But I didn't want no babies, no streets, and no criminal record. I got all of them. I'm dedicating that because he moved in with his father at 10 years old. And that was the hardest decision of my life to let him go.
What led to that?
What led to that?
Yeah, because
He was my
that's
son.
something that we don't hear often, in a sense
He
of a woman saying, "Hey, here's my son, and I'm going to give my
my
son."
son. Sorry, my son corrected me. He said it was 13, Mom. Okay, okay, 13. He said it was 13. I oversee it, okay? But he said it was 13. What led to that? Because me and my son talked, and he said, Mom, he wanted to go live with his dad. That first year, I was like, hell to the damn, that's my damn baby. That's my everything. But
Mhm.
I wanted my baby to not be in no streets, to not join no gangs, and not have no babies. Because statistics, I read them, I see my brothers them do well as having a father in the home, and I wanted my son to be somebody. I didn't want to lose him to the prison. I had nephews going in and out of jail because they didn't have no daddy. I didn't want that. And so I was when his dad came to me, he was like, Andrea, I think it's time for our son to move in with me. And don't get me wrong, he had a new wife and I ain't like it. But I was like, and I told my son, if you make this decision, and there'll be no back and forth. It's treat me like you in college. Come home every other weekend. but you're gonna stay with your daddy until you turn 18 and you graduate. And me and I have a daughter too. So me and the dad promised if you graduate him, I graduate her. And so that's how we did it. But that was the hard decision of my life. I cried for 2 days, and to let my baby, because he was my baby, to let my baby go live with his dad and see him every other weekend. And um and and but at the end of the day, is even though my ex-husband wasn't a good husband for me, he was always an excellent father. I knew him ever since I was a baby, so I did know and the trust that even though we had issues when it came to our kids, I know he wouldn't do anything to hurt them. So I knew that.
Can you talk to that? And there's a reason why I would like you to talk to that. You said,
Okay, well,
um,
you want to know the real story, okay? Let's keep it 100.
I told you,
Was I a good ex-wife? I was cussing his ass out every chance I got. Excuse my
mhm,
language. But every chance I got, I was cussing. I was fussing. We was young and dumb and got married early. So we
mhm,
had babies early. So we didn't know each other. Okay. And so he wanted that traditional wife, cook, clean, iron, take care of the kids. And I was like, look at here, this is a little too much for me. I didn't know what I was
mhm,
getting myself into. And
mhm.
we got a divorce about 20. I was like 27,
Okay.
28, got divorced. But we had two kids that are 14 months apart. But we got a divorce, and because he was taking his mistress to Hawaii. And
Okay.
that next week, while he was in Hawaii, I found me a black woman who's an attorney, and I was angry, and so I was like, take him
All
for
right.
everything he could, take his money. I knew how much money he made because my daddy trained him, so I was like, it's power. And when I said it's power, yeah, I wanted a shark to go after him to get what I wanted, to get justice for me. I thought it was in the mean, I thought it was justice, but it wasn't justice. I knew where I could hurt him at, and that was his money.
Let me ask you something. I
Mhm,
like where you at. I like where
mhm,
you at.
yeah. Mm,
What helped you to go from I'm this angry, I'm a hurt him
mhm,
to, you know what? I recognize he wasn't a good husband for me,
mhm.
but he's a good father. Talk to me about that because that right there is a conversation that's one of the conversations not being had.
Conflict. It's a conflict. It's a conflict. I ain't gonna lie. It's a
Yeah.
conflict. And don't get me wrong, my ex-husband is a good man. He is. He done things, even though he done things like the judge said 3 years of alimony, he paid for 5 years. Okay. I was still
Okay.
cussing his behind out. Okay. But he was still doing things for me. Because I moved out of my parents' house. They were very religious. My parents said you couldn't move out until you got married. Okay. So
Right.
I didn't know how to navigate the world. So he was still helping me. He taught me how to drive. I was bad with money. I was doing all the stupid stuff. So don't get me wrong, even though I was just acting a fool, okay, on him, he was still doing things for me and the children. Okay. And I asked for his forgiveness because I done a lot to him. I was acting a plain fool, okay? But I didn't know how to check my emotions. I didn't know how to check my emotions. Is he don't want to be with me, but he still loves his children, okay? And I didn't know how to check that emotion. So every time I seen him, I was enraged, okay, and just because I loved him, and he was my first to everything. So I ain't no. My parents didn't let me date anybody. They had to prove it all that. So my parents is very, I ain't gonna say controlling, but they wanted the best for me. Okay. But I was like, I decided I wanted to marry him, get out their house because I wanted to be grown. And so that was my escape from them. And so even though Ronnie wasn't a good husband, a good father, I always knew he was gonna be a good father. Always. He has sisters and brothers. He's a twin, I'm a twin. Okay. So I knew his family, I knew his mother, I knew his father. And so him a good father, he's always been a good provider. He's always worked, he's always gonna be that kind of man. He's still that kind of man to this day. And so just because I'm acting a fool and because I'm acting crazy doesn't mean that he's not a good father. But did I want him to pay? Did I find me a shark to go after him and a black sister? Yes. While he was in Hawaii, I tell men don't do this. Don't be telling your baby mama, your ex-girlfriend something that's some stupid. While you away, she got plenty of time, a thought, and process and plot your ass, okay? So I knew where the money was. I knew where the hurt him was. So I was like, oh yes, get the money, get the money. I don't care, whatever it takes, get the money. And when I didn't think I was gonna come out with that kind of money, but the judge was like, yes, because I was a stay-home mom. And so did that facilitate me? That money facilitated me to have a good life. I was able to go on vacation, be a better mom. I was able to he was taking care of his household and my household. And then one day when the recession came, he was like, Andrea, I can't pay that money like that no more. My bills are too much. It's too much. And you know, I didn't even go back to court. I said, okay, well, how much can you give me? How much can you give me? And we left it as that. Because at the end of the day, and what nobody don't know, after that judge announced how much I was supposed to get, I went in that back room with my lawyer and his lawyer and negotiated how much he was going to give me on the 15th and the 1st of every month. See, I wasn't that cold-hearted woman. I just wanted him to know I wanted to get you, and this justice right now. But I went back in that back room and negotiated and said, can we put it in my bank account? We didn't go to no court papers. He put it in my bank account on the 1st and the 15th of every month.
Let me ask you something, because I'm hearing three things, and I'm hearing part of, and just allow me the flow of this language.
Go ahead.
I'm hearing a woman who was trying to rush out of her parents' home, admitted that she basically had a decent husband, but she was acting a fool in the house, which again,
no. After he was cheating, I acted a fool. After he was cheating,
you acted a fool after the cheating.
After the cheating.
All right. So we'll say after the fool, after the cheating, but then there was another shift, and I want you to speak to what changed you emotionally to say, you know what I'm doing, regardless of him, is wrong. And the reason I'm asking you that is because I need you to talk to the woman who is in that much pain and that much anger, but don't know how to shut that down.
Therapy. Okay. When I say I was that doggone bad, one day my neighbors called my brother. She said, "Come and get your sister. She's crazy. She's on top of the car while he's driving." I'll do some things, okay. And so therapy. I was just like, my daughter was graduating. And I when I say I wasn't a good co-parent, I wasn't. I ain't gonna lie. My daughter was graduating, and as she was graduating, and I felt like I was a foster mom, but I felt like I was losing. I felt like I was losing, because you always being that mama that's always there, that nurturing, doing what I'm gonna do now. She don't need me. So I was like, something triggered me. I lost my keys. Yeah, that's what it was. I lost my keys, and I was like, I was just having a panic attack. My girlfriend was like, "Drea, calm down." I said, "I can't find my keys." The next day, I told my daughter, get on the internet, find me a Black therapist, somebody to look like me. I don't need no white therapist. They don't know my problems. I need a sister who looks like me. That next day, I went to her office. I told her everything was going on in my life. I got parents problem. I got kid problem. I got an ex-husband problem, and I got some sister problems too. And we started breaking it down by piece. She gave me tools that I didn't communicate right. I was arguing. I was fussing. Even when I started the conversation, I was just cussing. As soon as he answered the phone, I don't even say, "How your day doing? Are you okay? Can we have this conversation?" Andrea Lynch was cussing him out the minute he answered the phone. My therapist gave me tools to follow by. I would go sit on her couch for almost 3 years every Wednesday. I put all my burdens on her, and I feel good. And it changed how I talk to my friends. It changed how I talk to my parents. It changed how I talk to Ronnie. And then me and Ronnie came to Jesus one moment, and we said we were sorry for hurting each other. We wasn't the best for each other. We get that now. But it's time for our kids. It's time for our kids to see us laugh, kiki, and we about the old times. And they don't want to see us arguing and fighting. It takes too much out of us. And the jail that I was having for Ronnie, I was in jail. Even though everybody thought I was living the best life, going on vacation, I still was miserable because I didn't know Andrea Lynch.
Wow.
Mhm.
So you're saying that money never solved the problem.
No, money only helped me go on vacation. Money only helped me just do what I want to do. Money only helped me facilitate getting out of being on vacation, being on cruise. And there was lovely vacations. But the one thing I always remember, I wanted to go on vacation with the husband of the man who was with me. And don't I love my girls. I love my girls,
No,
and
no, no.
they're
That's real
very
talk.
important. But money only helped. The money he gave me helped me facilitate my life with our kids. That's it. It didn't cover the pain of losing him. It didn't cover because I thought maybe I was the bad wife. And this is one thing. This is one thing that he told me. I didn't remember this talking about the therapy. He told me one day I woke up and said, "Look, I'm not happy being your wife. I'm not happy being the kid's mama. I don't even know who Andrea is anymore." And that's the day he moved out. I didn't remember that conversation until I was in therapy.
You know, I'm happy and I'm humbled that you would even make that admission. Um, that's a very deep admission to make, and I hope that people that's in the chat and those that's really listening really hear you and really hear the things that you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you don't mind,
Mm-hmm.
can we talk about you growing up because you had made this statement about you needed to leave your parents' home.
Sure.
What was it like that really said, "Hey, I got to go by any means necessary"?
My mom and dad was very religious. They was traditional. They wanted us to be somebody, and they wouldn't want us to be grown, especially the girls. And the boys, men is something I don't know what it is, but men think they boys can do better than they girls. So my brothers, them who are 2 years under me, they was getting their driving license. My mama didn't let us do nothing because she know that Andrea Lynch, because I have a twin sister. She's like me. I'm the wild one. But she know Andrea Lynch had her driver's license. I ain't gonna be going to church on Wednesday because I was lying about that. I'm gonna be out the house. But she didn't want
Right.
that. And I love my mom. My mom is a good mom. My mom, she has 7 kids. I'm a twin. Um, they're from North Carolina. My dad learned the carpet trade, and he kept us moving from North Carolina to everywhere. So,
What,
and we settled in California.
what
So,
part of North Carolina?
Burlington, North Carolina.
Oh yeah, know it
Yes,
well.
yes,
If my daughter shows up on the chat, she's gonna be like, "Oh God, trying to
yes,
get out." We
yes,
know,
yes,
bro. I was
yes,
in North Carolina 17 years, so
yes. So
we
Burlington,
we,
North
we know
Carolina.
it.
That's my hometown. I was born there. My mom and dad both raised there, and they was good parents, but they was controlling when it comes to their girls. They want them. My sister had to get married. She got married to the pastor's son. Okay, and it's funny because all my brothers and them are still married. The three girls are not. They're divorced. Or my sister's on her second husband. But we just wanted to be grown. At 19, I wanted my own apartment. I wanted to be grown with my own. My daddy didn't like me wearing weaves and all this blonde that I wear now. He was very traditional about your hair, and the boys too. And I was like, I'm grown. I want to be grown and make my own decisions. And that was the reason. There was no abuse. That was the reason I wanted to leave home, because I wanted to be grown as in a grown person. Like I paid rent at home when I lived at home with my mom and dad. I got a job at 16 because I knew that my mom needed help when it came to my sisters and my brothers. So I started working at 16. My daddy
When
get
you
my daddy gave me that work because my daddy was put carpet in people's houses, and after school we had to go in there and vacuum them brand new carpet, and he was anal about the carpet. He liked the lines in a certain way, and he wanted his daughters to do it, and we had to do it every day after school. And my
you
brothers
know,
and my
I'm gonna
brothers.
raise this
Mhm,
because A says something and he said they supposed to. In other words, they're supposed to be. In other words, us being, because I had to leave the house at 18, but wasn't that I
mhm,
was forced out.
mhm,
Heck, I was raised up where by the time you was 18, you was trying to get out. You know, as a
mhm,
man, it was like, nah, I gotta have my own. Because
mhm,
in my
mhm.
daddy house, you wasn't doing certain things in his house.
Yes, yeah, my
So
daddy house. You couldn't you couldn't watch on the BET. I was sticking when he was at work. We watching BET, Soul Train, all that kind of stuff. He was like,
exactly.
you're staying in my house. And my daddy like this. Okay, this my house. I pay the bills, and you ain't gonna tell me what to do. I'm gonna tell you what to do. And when you get your own stuff, I'ma still tell you what to do. Okay, because my daddy like this. Okay, I was married. And my sister called. She was like, you know what daddy did? I said, girl, what he do? What he do? She said he kicked a hole in our older brother's front door because my brother put him out the house. My daddy ain't no joke. He don't play. He don't like disrespect. And I was like, kick the hole. I was like, kick the hole in my brother's house. I was like, oh my God, my daddy is a trip. But my daddy don't play when it comes to his kids respecting him and did I fear my daddy? Yes, I did. I feared my daddy because when he said something, you move. He don't only tell you but one time. Now, mama, you might get away with 2 times, but she coming after you. But my daddy was not. He didn't play. And when it came to my 4 brothers going to work every day after school, my daddy was like, "Look, I might not have a college education, but I got a trade that's gonna make you money and take care of your family." And he always said, "If you don't work, you don't eat." Period.
Let me ask you this. What was your neighborhood like? And when I asked that, when I say what was your neighborhood like? Because for a man to come from North Carolina, he's part of that migration period.
Mhm.
Going to California, he's having a
No,
trade.
he didn't start in California. We started in Virginia, Houston, Dallas, Philadelphia, Arizona, and then California.
Okay, so was he military?
No, he went military.
Okay, so y'all lived in Virginia, then
Hmm.
you lived in Dallas,
Houston,
Texas, Houston,
yeah.
and then from Houston you went to California.
And then we went to Philadelphia. We stayed in Philadelphia 1 year. It was too doggone cold. They was prejudice out there, and then we moved to Arizona. We stayed in Arizona. We stayed in Arizona about 10 years. And then we moved to California my freshman year in high school.
Do me a favor, what would you say to that statement?
The problem was the cheating. I couldn't get past the cheating. I'm sorry. I couldn't get past the cheating, and I left home to be with him. So my when I left home, my daddy was fighting with me. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. Let's tell the truth. Let's be honest. My daddy was when I called my ex husband and said let's get married. My daddy put me in the chokehold. Okay, I had to get my brothers to get him off of me. And when I got him off of me, my mama gave me my social security card, my birth certificate, and she said she won't have nothing else to do with me.
Let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
If you had to go back to the younger you,
Uh huh.
I want to go back to that woman that said I gotta leave.
Hmm.
Is she ready to maybe take the accountability to say she may have not been mature enough to really be on her own and take on a real responsibility of a wife?
I agree with that. Yes, yes. But would I
And
trade it for the world? Hell no.
okay.
Uh-uh. I
And
would
then
never.
my next question would be, with that being stated,
Hmm.
by you knowing and recognizing you wasn't fully ready,
Hmm.
I'm not justifying, but
Hmm.
I will bring in my own personal story.
Hmm.
Could you argumentatively say that there is a part that's your part, just yours? I'm not asking about anybody else's. That there was a part you played in this man going out and doing what he did.
Yes,
That's
I
a
think
hard
that,
pill for a lot of people to
yes,
swallow.
yes. Yes, I played a part. I played a part with Ronnie cheating. I
Okay.
pushed him so far. He told me, I said this to him, you ain't going nowhere. I got these kids. I can't believe
Mhm.
I was bold. Okay, I became bold. He was like, I was like, you ain't going nowhere. I got your kids. What you gonna do? And he told me, I told him that. I don't know what that sense, because I always been that meek, mild. I didn't cuss, that church girl. I didn't do none of that. And so
Mhm.
something has shifted. I don't know. It gave me a little, power. I ain't gonna lie. And when you say you got power, yeah, I thought I had power. But
Right.
yeah, something shifted in me. Yes. I played a part in the cheating. I played a part in not being the best wife. I didn't communicate. I didn't communicate well. I could have told him I didn't like some stuff that he was doing. I didn't tell him like I don't want to go to the damn out there to the snowboard and we got some kids. It's too damn cold. I was like,
Right.
okay, baby, whatever you want, I'm gonna do. I could have been honest with him, which I wasn't.
That's the beauty.
Mm,
That's when the rubber meets the road. That's
mm,
when we begin to really parse and navigate. That's
mm,
when we look in the mirror at
mm,
ourselves, because it's easy for us to deflect ourselves. It's
mm,
easy for us to blame everybody, but
mm,
the hardest thing is to look in the mirror at oneself. So I want to compliment you on the fact
yeah.
that you was at least able to look within yourself, whether you did it on your own or whether you was able to speak to. It doesn't matter how you got there. You got there. How would you talk to young sisters who are 19 and they say, I'm ready to leave home, I'm ready to get married, I'm ready to have these kids, I'm ready to be a wife, and the men who just happen to be a little bit older say, you ain't ready. You need to
But see,
do
I
some
knew,
things.
I knew, I knew I wasn't ready to have no kids. Excuse me, I told my ex-husband, I said, let's have kids 5 years later, okay? Let's travel. We're young. We can do. We got money. You got money. I'm working. Let's go out here and party. We got it.
Mhm.
He was like, I'm ready to have kids now. He was 3 years older than me. He's like, I'm ready to have. He's like, Andrea, I don't want to have no kids when I'm in my damn 40s. I was like, we still young. Let's have it. Let's wait. I knew I wasn't ready. And then I went through postpartum depression, and that was a lot too. So I knew I wasn't ready, and I told him I wasn't ready, but I felt like he was my husband. He wanted babies right now,
Mhm.
and we did it. But I knew in myself I wasn't ready to be a mom because I see my mom. My mom has 7 kids. I know how to take care of a child. If I don't do not do nothing else, I know how to take care of a child because she taught me how. But I know I wasn't ready to be a mom. I was still learning. I was still going with my friends. My freedom. I was going to the club. I was hanging out at Walmart at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's like I thought I was freedom. I had freedom, but he wanted to have babies, and so we had babies. And do I think you know the hardship of having a baby, 14 months love and having another baby, postpartum depression, cook, clean, iron, and he was a traditional man like my father. He wanted his clothes ironed for the week with spray starch on it. Okay. And I could iron because my mama told me how to iron because I had to iron my daddy clothes. So I
Mhm.
know how to iron. So but I tried that the first 6 months. But after having them babies, how can I do all this? And I'm working too. You asking for we need a maid around here. I need help. And then that's when I was like, I can't do this. It's a lot. But at the same time, is he was trying to work it out. I was giving him hell at the time until I realized one day I woke up and said, I'm on out. This shit is hard. I don't know who I am anymore. I love Andrea, but I love the kids, but I'm sick of being your wife, being the kids' mama. Where I'm at, I think women lose themselves. I do know this. A couple of my girlfriends, we lose ourselves being the wife, being the mother, taking care of the kids. We don't know who we are no more. We don't know what we like to do. And sometimes I think the men don't recognize that my wife is in her pajamas all night, all day, and it's something wrong. No, ain't nothing wrong. I don't believe in postpartum depression. Excuse me. you know do you take her out on a date? Do you take the kids for a day? Do you tell her go out there with her girlfriends and have a good time? No, they don't. They cook, clean, and take care of the kids. I was like, this ain't my daddy and mama marriage either. I don't want a marriage like that. I love my dad. Love him. He's my daddy with my mama king, but my daddy ain't my king. Okay, some of his ways got on my nerves. Okay, that's my
Mhm.
mama's choice, not mine. And so I'm just saying I didn't want a marriage just like my parents. but it almost seemed like I was having a marriage just like them.
Let me let me bring it up. Let me say it from a different perspective.
Hmm.
You said you didn't want a marriage like your parents.
Hmm.
Yet your parents is over what 40 years married,
I'm at 47 years.
47. So that means they had a successful marriage and did it right.
Yes, they did, but at the same time,
So would you say
it,
argumentatively,
hmm.
would you say
Hmm.
that if we look at outcomes,
Yes,
when it comes to outcomes, they had the perfect formula. You created a formula that didn't work. So could you say, well, maybe I need to go back and study the good of this formula so that when I'm ready to be a wife, I know what to do?
yes. I mean, I agree, but some of the things that my mama put up with my daddy, I'm sorry, I know who I am, and I'm not gonna do that. And I love my mom, I love my father, and I told my the honest conversation is I can have that conversation with my father now. Um,
Mhm.
mm, I can't put up with some of your behavior. It's too much, and I don't understand how mommy did it. Mommy loved the mess out of daddy, okay, but I don't think it. I don't think he got to be so. Yes, my dad is the head of the household, and yes, he put his footprint and let everybody know. But at the same time, is you can't make a plate for yourself. How come mommy got to do that for you all the time? Mommy work too. So I'm just saying some of the things you can't help wash clothes. Mommy getting old. I mean, I just think like sometimes I feel like if I get married again, I want a partner, and a partner is the teamwork. I felt like when it came to my father and my mother pretty much did a lot, and my father just looked pretty sometimes, and and sometimes he didn't do as much as she did. And sometimes I feel like she was overworked, underpaid, and didn't go spend time with herself, learning who she was and learning take care of her to take care of her because she was always nurturing everybody else.
Let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
Are you telling me that you can interpret things at the age of 6, 10, and 15 as to what's going on in your home? Have your mother said this, or is this your interpretation?
My mother didn't say this. It's my own interpretation. And when I had a chance when I was grown to have that conversation with my mother, and she was like, um, she was like, but your daddy do a lot. Your daddy's the head of this family. The Basically my daddy was her king, and I just didn't feel. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think my dad's a great man, but at the same time, is being a great man, and I do think you can be a partner. You can help. You can be a protector and a provider, but you can't help with the kids. You can't do nothing.
Let me ask you a question,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
because you use that word partner and used it a lot.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. A man owns a business. He
Yes.
is, let's take a truck driver. He's a truck driver. His job is to be on the road 10, 12 hours a day.
Hmm.
Okay. That means he's in a profession that actually is dangerous.
True.
Okay.
Hmm.
But he's working 10 hours a day.
Hmm.
He's in a very dangerous profession. He's making sure that all the bills is paid.
Hmm.
He's making sure that you don't have any needs, and he's providing for some of your wants. And my understanding from you is just to ask you to fix me something to eat. That is over the top, not teamwork. Is that what I'm to
I'm not.
interpret?
I'm not saying. I'm not saying. I'm not. Look, my mama had health issues. Let's keep it 100. My mama had diabetes. Okay, and all I'm saying is I have watched my mother sit down and knowing that she wasn't feeling well, I finished dinner for her. Okay, so what I'm saying is, as a partner, and my dad, I'm just saying my dad could have made his own plate. Could have. made a kids plate. As that's what the partner's supposed to do. And don't get me wrong, if my husband was a truck driver, I'm gonna make his plate. Yes, he out on the road and it's dangerous. Don't get me wrong, but it was times that my daddy could have done a little better, and my daddy is transparent now. And now that my mother is gone, we had that conversation. He said that he is honest to this day. He's more honest than he was when I was a child. So I had that conversation. He could have done a little more better. He could have done a little better. That's all I'm saying. He was a great. You could be a great man and still say, "Look, I could have done better."
Okay. So let me use myself as the example.
Okay.
I own my own business.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
I pay all the bills.
Okay.
Okay. I'm more than a content creator.
Okay.
Okay. And somebody else runs my administration, but she doesn't define herself as a partner. We're not co-equal. I am still the head, but her partnership, which is a bad word, let's use the real word that every woman hates.
Hmm.
Her submission is simple. She's able to take things off of me so that I can concentrate on the bigger issues at hand.
I agree with that. My mom did the same
But
thing for
we're
my
but we're not equal. That's still the help me. And she is in her total feminine, total
dad.
happiness. And guess what? Yes, this is my business, and she chooses to work, and we're still at peace. And what it's sounding like, and
Hmm.
again, I'm willing to hear it.
Okay.
You are asking for partnership, which is equality. A lot of your arguments or a lot of things you said um, was, I want to be equal. He can do this, he can do that, he can do this, he can do that. And my question again becomes,
Hmm.
you're trying to interpret your parents' relationship, but my question is going to go to your relationship. And that means now past relationships might look a little bit different than present. But the
Hmm.
question becomes, where does the partner equality start and end if you're talking about equality?
I don't think equality occurs. Let me tell you something. My ex
Hmm.
husband wasn't a good father until we got divorced. Okay, he wasn't. Now that we divorced, like Andre had to do everything. Now that I used to iron the kids' clothes to go to his house and all that. I stopped doing all that, and I was like, this is a little too much. I'm still doing everything, and he ain't doing nothing. And when I stopped doing that, I seen how he progressed as a father. He matches the clothes right. He combed my daughter's hair right. He was doing things that and I'm like, look, you could have done that with me. Now we apart. Now you doing what I wanted you to do. I'm just saying is to me he's a better father now because he had to be. He had to make cakes with my daughter. He had to do things with my son. You know, and I'm like, well, we could have done that together in the home together. But no, he didn't. No, he felt like since he provided and I did work too. Okay, so I did. So since he felt like he was providing and doing everything and paying the bills, that he didn't have to do nothing. I'm just like, well, why? You can't do nothing. You can't do
What,
nothing.
what, let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
What did you do for a living while you was married?
I worked at a daycare center
Okay,
for
okay,
kids all day.
okay. Let me ask you, when y'all came together, did
Mhm.
you communicate roles in the sense of, hey, I'm gonna do this, you do this, etc. Or did you get to a place where it was like, I've been doing this, doing this, doing this, and now this has become overwhelming. So I want to shift and I want to change.
When I first got married, I was cooking, cleaning, ironing. I was doing everything. I didn't have no kids, so I was able to do the things that he want because I don't have nobody bothering me. Ain't no kid need crying, no kid need breastfeeding, so I was able to iron the clothes for the week. It didn't bother me. I can whip them clothes out in a minute. I can keep the house clean in a minute. But when you have kids and you still, and I'm still working too, that was just hard on me, and it became overwhelming. And then shifting a minute, I got a little mad. I was like, damn, we got these kids, and I feel like here I come. I even called my mom. I was like, how you do this like this? This is a lot. And so I get a little angry because I thought, maybe you would think you want to help me. I am your wife, and don't get me wrong. And I mean, you couldn't do nothing. I remember one day I was cooking. The baby was crying. Okay, he was holding the baby, and I was breastfeeding too. He was like, "The baby hungry, Andrea." I'm looking like, you can't hold a baby while I cook too. I mean, it's like I'm that's a lot for somebody who's young, just 22, and just had a baby. That's a lot to do. Now I have my kids and my ex-husband. They all taught me and mold me and shape me to the woman I am today. If I ever be married again, I'm gonna be a better wife. I know all the things that I didn't do, all the things that I made. And at the end of the day, is I'm honest. Any man talks to me now, I'll say I the best cook. I'm not lying about nothing. Okay, I can earn. I'm gonna tell you what what I'm good at, and what I'm not at. I can be totally honest. And then I feel like me just being my authentic self and being honest. I like that, because this is who I am. Can you deal with that? Can we make a home, a house together? And I'm not faking the funk. I'm not doing that. And maybe I did that to my ex-husband because he said that. But I'm not faking the funk with any other man I'm with. I'm letting them know this is who I am. And I communicate better too. If I say, look, this is not working out for me, this is not good for me, I communicate. I didn't tell my ex-husband. It was times I would get angry. I would be slamming some doors after he left the house. But I didn't communicate well, and I know that. And that's what therapy have taught me, to communicate well. If I don't like something, tell that person something. And that's what I know now. I'm big about, listen, this is how I feel. I don't go down like that. I'm keeping it 100. And I didn't. There was so much stuff that my ex-husband didn't know that I was unhappy about until after we got divorced. So I left him out there winging it and didn't know what I was upset about. All he knows is Andrea's mad today.
I'm going to tell you, I want you to understand that you are loved here on this platform. Okay. I want you to understand that you said a great deal. I want you to understand that I'm not going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, because I'm not your therapist. You know what I'm saying? I'm just old Uncle Lou just talking to his niece. Just talking to the niece, okay? And just understand that we all a work in progress.
Yes,
Okay.
I tell anybody I'm not perfect. I made plenty of mistakes, and that's why I tell my sisters the mistakes I made. I feel like I am going to tell my sisters, because if Andrea Lynch can act a fool and be a bad wife, you don't gotta be a bad wife. You don't have to be a bad ex-husband. You don't have to be a bad baby mama or ex-wife. Do it better than what I do. I tell my sisters, communicate with my brothers. Try to work it out. Don't act a fool like I did. Because did that cause more stress on me and my ex-husband? Because he cleared out, I gave him high blood pressure and his hair fell out. I don't think I gave him that, but that's what he said I did. He said I gave high blood pressure, and I told him one day, if you want to have two women in your life, but go ahead, because I'm gonna get your hell. But I tell my sisters to this day, don't do what I did. Do it better. Do it much better. Communicate. Try to negotiate before you take them down to the child support services. Try to negotiate. Try to have the conversation. And if that's the last resort, then do what you got to do. But I tell my sisters, don't keep the kids from their fathers, because at the end of the day, if fathers was in their kids' life, we will keep our sons out of jail, the prison, and having babies early. Okay, I believe that. So I'm
Got
telling.
you.
I mean, that because I act a fool don't mean I want my sisters, my daughter, my friends to do that. Do it better. Do it better than me. And if I had to be the catalyst to show you to do it better, then I was the catalyst. It's all worth what I did.
Where do you see yourself 3 to 5 years from now? What's your future looking like? Where you see yourself 3 years from now? And if that's too far, where you see yourself a year from now?
But right now, the proudest moment is I adopted two kids, or my foster care kids. I adopted them in April, and now I'm a mom a second time around. And I love being a mom. I always wanted four kids. I ain't gonna lie. When I got married, I wanted the four kids and the white picket fence and the dog. Okay,
Mhm.
but um, I didn't want to have kids again and argue with a man over some money. I just didn't. That was the I'll be honest, that's the most painful thing I ever went through. um Me and my ex-husband arguing over child support, what he felt like I deserved and what he felt like I didn't deserve. And yes, we don't been through that. We're past that. But arguing over money, I think it almost killed both of us. Okay, and I didn't want to do that. I just didn't want to do that. And so and plus the sharing and being co-parents is it's a B, okay? Because nobody don't have a role book. I didn't see my mom and dad be co-parents. And my friends was too young to be parents. And so nobody don't tell you the role book of being a co-parent. It's hard when he got a new wife and you can't stand her. It's hard when my son is got an F in school and he off the football field and then he ain't communicate with me. It's hard when the kids got to have surgery and he was like, I don't know if she could do that. So all that co-parenting, nobody tells you that it's easy, and people saying it's easy, they lying. Okay, it is not. You got to communicate and get things done. It's not. Okay, so being an adopted parent, right now I'm loving it. Everything's on me, and I wasn't present always with my two my two adult children. I was on the grind hustling. I had a daycare business, I had a foster business, and I was on the grind trying to make sure we gonna have a good life. Even though their daddy paid child support, even though he paid child support, I gotta get mine. And so I wasn't always present with my children. I worked the graveyard shift, and I was like, y'all, look, go in there, sit down, and did that. And being a mom right now, I am present. I am financially good, and I can just enjoy the kids. And I didn't enjoy Veronica quitting at sometime in my life, because I was on the grind trying to make sure they had a good life, and I was on the grind because my ex-husband told me this and he made me mad, and maybe that was a fuel to keep the fire born in me. He was like, you ain't gonna never make as much money as I am. And I was like, I'm gonna show you I'm gonna do that. And so that kept me on the grind, not trying to beat him, but trying to say, look, I can do it too.
Let me ask you something,
Mhm.
because I've noticed you've echoed some things throughout this conversation. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna go we'll go a little deep, and if you don't want to answer it, that's perfectly
Sure.
okay. I've noticed you keep reflecting back to him having a second wife.
Yes. Yes.
If
That was
you
the
had to
mission that he
dig
was
deep,
cheating.
if you had to dig deep in yourself, can you say that you're still upset behind that?
I'm upset. I just didn't like the way he did it. Okay, I put it away because it embarrassed. The woman worked with my father and my brother. Them. Okay, so my parents didn't know because I didn't tell them, and they were still wasn't talking to me. Okay, so they didn't know that I was going through a divorce. They didn't know he was cheating. They didn't know none of that was going on until the woman that worked down there with my father and my daddy them and my brother them. That's how they found out he was cheating, because he went to a Christmas party with her. And it embarrassed my brother. It embarrassed my daddy. And the church my mama go to was embarrassed. And I had to hear my mama call me because she was sneaking calling me, even though my daddy told her don't talk to me. People at the church would talk. You know how people in the church, black people, talking their business. Oh,
Mhm.
Andrea, her, he left her for a white woman. You know, all that was going down. And like I told him, if it was Susie on across the town and ain't nobody knowing, I might have been okay with that, because my family would not be embarrassed. And at the same time I'm not mad with Tiffany no more. She took somebody off my hands that is good for her and not me. Because her name wasn't Tiffany Okay, back in the day, I called her another name. I called her Tiffany now. I asked her how she's doing. I'm not mad no more.
Are
But was
you
I
upset?
irritated?
Are you upset because? All right, let me make sure I got it right.
Okay, come on in.
Are you upset that he left you for another woman, or is it upset because he left you for a white woman?
I'm upset I was upset he let me for both. Okay, all three of the reasons. My
The
thing
reason I say that because you made a statement. You
I'm
tell you what you
upset
said,
all
so I'm,
three
I'm
of
gonna
the
play
reasons.
it back.
Okay,
You
all three of
said
the reasons. I'm upset all three of
if
the reasons.
he would have cheated on you with
Mhm.
a different type of a woman, you wouldn't have been mad. So this has nothing to do with the cheating. It's who he cheated on you with, a white woman.
A
The
white woman.
curse of the black woman is for a black man to leave his black wife for a white woman, which makes all that other stuff you said, in theory, totally irrelevant because your pain is the white woman.
I don't think my pain. I mean, I think it was all three of my pain. Okay, I had to hear my mama. Like, do you know it's when your mama tell you, I told you he was gonna leave with 2 kids. I told you, my mama, she didn't make no words when she found out, and my sisters them all found out. Do you know family members called my phone, letting me know, even my auntie. Okay, I ain't seen my auntie in couple years. I was at Home Depot buying some paint. She said, "Was it all worth it?" I had to. That stuff wasn't fun. Okay, I lost all my family members for him. The one who said that he was gonna be there for me. Yes, it still burns me that he left me for a white woman. I'm like, you could have didn't. In my, I don't know. Yes, it irritates my soul that he did that to me. But at the same time, and I told him this. I said I wouldn't. I don't know. I probably wouldn't be mad. It was a black woman, but the embarrassing of the family and the church. Let me tell you something. My mom and dad belonged to that church, and the church people were they was mean and hateful and a little disrespectful and told my mama, "See, your daughter wasn't no good." Okay, they put that my mom stopped talking to me over the church too, over this whole situation. And to lose everything, look, when you've been grew up with your mama and your daddy and your cousins, and you lose them in a sight, and you in the world navigating by yourself, I'm surprised I didn't have a nervous breakdown. Cause when you ain't got nobody, you can always go home to family. Always go home to family. Oh, I couldn't. I couldn't. I had to navigate this world by myself. And I found some people who became my family. I found some people who helped me navigate this world. Like, I wasn't good with money. I was bad with money. I was bad with managed money. Oh, I had a friend who helped me. I had older women who said I could do it better. And they became my family. And my mama and daddy didn't come back in my kids' life until they were 13 or 14 years old. How you know grandmama now? You don't know them. They're strangers. Thank God I had even though me and my ex-husband wasn't together, his mother and his father, every summer the kids went out to Georgia to be with them. But I mean, I don't regret it. Did that scene that he left me for a woman, an older woman too? He left me for I wanted my marriage to work. I wanted that 2-parent home. We have a daughter too right now. Is finna have a baby. I wanted all that because I knew if you don't have a 2-parent home, and I'm not saying everybody 2-parent home is perfect, but if it's 2 parents, the kids is gonna be okay. They might navigate the world in a sense that their structure is in place. And I'm not, and when I say co-parenting was difficult for me, it was because I didn't see it in my own family. So how do I supposed to learn? Who's teaching me that if I don't know that? I don't teach co-parenting when it comes to my mom and dad. My mom said if we didn't do something, your daddy gonna deal with you. Period. So I'm learning all this stuff on the fly. No road book. Nobody to help me. Yes, I was acting out. Yes, I was acting a fool. Be lucky that I didn't have a nervous breakdown or try to hurt him. Because I was like, you pushed me to the level that I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Let me
And
ask you this.
it took people in my life that knew when I was crying out for help, they say, I got you. You can do it better. Just hold on.
Let me ask you this. Are you still in therapy today?
Yes, I see my therapist
Okay.
not all the time, but I do see her when I have some issues when I feel like life is too much. I see my
Mhm.
therapist. I call her and check in. When I have an issue with my father, because even though my mother's not here, my sometimes my father is insensitive. He don't know how to. My mother was a glue to hold all of us together, and my father don't know how to. My mother was kind of mother that said, "Baby, it's gonna be all right. Just pray today. It's gonna be all right." My father was like, "I got time for this crying and this." He don't know that, okay? And so I used to tell him, "Daddy, you're a little too harsh. You can't control your kids. We're grown now. You got to have a different relationship with us. We're not. We need guidance, wisdom from you, not so doggone harshness and do it the way you think we should do it." And my father is navigating that, and I as his daughter, I am able to tell him that, and don't be afraid to tell him how I really feel.
Okay. Well, ready? Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. First of all, let me give you the praise and the honor. Okay. Um, First of all, to be able to share your story, to be able to share your pain, to be able to share your, your bits of saying, "Hey, I was wrong over here. I'm trying to navigate this over here. I'm struggling over here," and to still be able to say, "I stand. I can still put a smile on my face. I salute you.
Mhm.
I'm uncle, so I'm a little bit different." Okay, so as the uncle, I'm a little bit different. All
Mhm.
right. You know, I just want you, my humble advice,
Mhm.
okay, is to continue working on you. Okay.
Oh yes.
Continue doing what you're doing. I do nothing but salute you. I love you. This is an open platform. Okay.
Well,
And
people think they have a misconception of me. Just because I'm passionate and just because I'm a little loud, don't mean um that I'm mad with Ronnie anymore. I'm not mad because at the end of the day, it had molded and shaped Andrea Lynch into the woman I am today. And I would say this. I tell my kids this. He had a catalyst to show me what I don't like and what I do like. He had a catalyst to show me who I am and what I am. And now I know myself so much better, and I can communicate with him because the love don't change because we're not together. He's still a father of my children and we are still family. I don't care who comes in our life. Okay? We got these kids and these kids combine us and they are the best of us, the best of me and him. Okay. And I don't change. I wouldn't change that for the world. I wouldn't change that for the world. Of I have a good father for my children, and I'm proud of that every day.
I do nothing but salute you on that
Mm.
latter part. I do
Mhm.
nothing but salute you because some women will be sitting there still going after the daddy and talking trash, and it can just go to the left real quick.
My
But
my
you
father,
felt
even though my
uh,
even though my father get on my nerves sometimes, my father has
mhm,
always been my hero. Always.
beautiful.
You know, I can love my father and say some of his behavior was not okay, but but do he show me what a real man is? Yes. A protector, a provider. He has showed all his children that. And I wouldn't be the woman I am today if my daddy work ethic. My daddy owned his own business. Okay. The work ethic that he has is like, man, no other. Okay. He would get up when his knee was hurting on that carpet, doing making sure that his family was taken care of. I would always say my father is my hero too. And my mother ain't no one like her. And to this day, we still miss her because she was the apple of all of her children. She had a relationship with us that my father didn't have. She had a relationship with us that she knew her kids, and maybe we weren't talking to each other. But my mama said, "Look, talk to your sister. I know y'all mad, but she had a sweet way to get all of her kids to act right." And my father, to this day, my father misses my mother, and that is the heartbreaking for me because that was his partner for life, and he misses her.
That's good. Like I said, I salute you. I love you. It takes a lot to unpack all that. It
Yes.
takes a lot just to be able to open up on a public platform and share all the things that you have shared. So I salute you.
Yes.
I hope I can get you to come back again. We'll
Yes.
switch
I
up
have
the
no
topic,
problem.
but I am very honored that you gave me some of your time
Mhm.
to
Well,
come.
I mean, I didn't know what you wanted to tell.
You are
I
good.
I
You're
didn't think I
good.
was that important. I didn't think I was that important. But
I,
I am
I want hold it. I'm gonna answer that right now.
okay.
What makes you not important?
Well, I'm just a little old girl from California. I got a big opinion, but I didn't think I was that important that everybody needs to hear my story. I mean, my passion is I'm a foster mom. I love foster care kids. I love taking care of kids. That's where I shine at, and that's where I thrive at. But what makes I no everybody got a story. I know that, but I am me, I ain't that important. I just be out here giving it how I really feel. But if somebody wanted to hear my story, my friend told me I should write a book. But I you know,
Let me shut that statement down.
okay.
Every day you wake up, you're important.
Mhm,
Every day that you can breathe, you're important. I don't give a damn what your past was like. You have to look in the mirror and understand that you are just as important and you have a voice like anybody else has a voice. And I need you to understand right here, right now, that you are important. If anybody devalues your wealth, and that is your wealth of knowledge and understanding, then they don't that means that they don't see what's on the inside of them. You understand? Because there was times that everybody say, oh, you wasn't worthy of a name, but guess what,
mhm,
you it was a time I didn't have that name, but I work hard for what I got. I'll keep on working hard day by day. You understand? So you have to begin to look at yourself and say, I am worthy. And if that's not the case, you just keep on going. But I don't see how in the world you could sit there and tell me, well, Uncle Stu, I don't see why you chose me to have empowerment. It took an empowered mind to go into a place that listens to tough love all day and hear what he has to say. That is not somebody that's not important. You could be on anybody's platform listening to junk, trash, garbage, cussing men out, or being on this side cussing white women out, or being on us. You could be everywhere. So somewhere in your mind,
mhm,
you chose a place to get some tough love conversation. Then you turned around
mhm,
and chose Uncle Stu to say, well, if he think I got something to say, I'm going to give him the time to say it.
mhm,
So I said to you, allow this to be your genesis as you was talking through your revelation, which revelation means the unveiling. My sister, I have 30 people in this chat, all the way up to 40 people was listening to a woman who thought she wasn't important. Not because you hot air the YouTuber,
mhm.
because you're Andrea Lynch. And people want to know who is the real Andrea Lynch.
Well,
Who
well,
is the woman that came from a two-parent home, made some mistakes, thought about things a different kind of way, struggled as a mother, turned around and battled with a father, then got upset, had some divorces, then had to figure out how to go from being this type of woman to this type of woman to this type of woman. Because there's another woman somewhere who also may be a little Andrea Lynch. And maybe she needed to hear Because here's the wisdom.
Mhm.
Here's what nobody wants to understand. I made mistakes. But if I could prevent one more man from making any mistake I did, then damn it, I left this world a better place than I came into.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
I got people that came from the hood. They don't know what a two-parent home looked like. You at least had the grace to know what it looks like. You understand?
yeah.
And you did the best you can with what you knew. You even took accountability in some areas that most women wouldn't even take accountability on. But you did.
Because I feel like if I don't understand and know myself, how can I be a good wife to somebody else? How can I be a good mother? And how can I understand and navigate and to navigate grown children that I'm struggling with right now? And I'm just trying to be better as myself. As you know, when you played that church song, I'm like, I remember going to the church. It was I think us Black folks is missing something, and I know what it is. I remember it now. The church was the pillar of the community, and they helped. We was a family, and we went to church every Sunday, and we fellowship. And I think that is what the Black community misses, because the church was there to help with the kids. The women was there to help with the kids. And my mom loved her church people. And then I remember that was the community that would help us. And then I feel like, as my age now, church has become big business, and we don't have that. And I feel like that is what some of the Black community is missing. Is the church.
And
And
Andrea, let me say this to you.
mhm.
The church is here. I just did a whole 3-hour live yesterday about church.
Mhm.
But what I'm here to tell you is the church is here. For the word of God says, where two or more is gathered, there he shall be. My sister, there's 32 people in this chat. That's more than 2 people.
That's true.
It's me and you right now. That's 2 people.
I agree with
Therefore,
that.
Christ is in the midst. So the pain that you're feeling,
Mhm.
the missing part, is now coming together. So now it's time to be transferred by the renewing of your mind, and understand that all of your prayers and all the tears, what is the tear? It is water.
Mhm.
But every time that water hits the grass, it gives that grass times to grow. Right?
Mhm.
So every time you've cried that cry, you drop tears, which gives a new grass to grow. All the crap just turned into your fertilization to give you a new place to walk and to stand. I don't have a heaven or a hell to put you in.
Mhm.
But what I got, I give unto you, and that is the grace of God. There go I. So don't say anymore, I'm not important.
Okay.
Because every time you wake up and able to take that breath, you're important. That's why I invite you here to Uncle Stu's Emancipated Studio, because I see greatness in you. I see importance in you. I see value in you. I see a woman that can be married again, and married to the right man that's going to love you for who you are.
Yeah.
I could give you 1,000 talking points. I can give you 1,000 checklists. But at the end of the day, the man that's for you is already built and designed to deal with just you.
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm. I hear you. I take that.
All right.
Well, thank
Okay?
you. I take
All
that.
right.
I hear you. Okay. I take
Yeah.
that. I hear you.
I
And
come with a different form of tough love.
yes, and shout out to Tough Love, okay? Shout out to Tough Love, okay?
Okay.
Shout out to him because you know what? I'm so glad I met you guys. I really like the community that he's in, and I tell Mario sometimes you gotta let it go, but you know what? I'm glad that I come across his platform and y'all's because I really feels like y'all are changing and changing for the better, and I want our sisters and our brothers to just be better people. And so I praise y'all. That's why, when Tough Love said I'm about to piss somebody off, that makes me I be laughing because I thank you guys for just hearing my voice because I got something to say. And I received what you said today, and I really appreciate that. And I received what you said about coming on your platform. You know, I
And
didn't
you
think
are welcome back because don't think that you're not on my list.
I.
You have a voice. You have a voice. Forget all hot air.
Mhm.
Your name is Andrea. You have a voice.
Yes, man.
And and if I
And,
gotta
and,
make
and
this
much is
platform,
and much that voice is if I try I try to give back to my community. I try to give my people who watches me something that they can leave with because I do think my mom always sang this church song and it plays around. If you can help somebody along the way, my living won't be in vain. And so that I always feel like I gotta leave something for somebody. And my thanks to my mom, she gave me that. And so I thank you for let me come to this platform. I'm not saying Andrea this is perfect. I tell anybody, just do better. Just as black people, as black the community, just do better because it is I sometimes I feel like our sisters, our brothers is getting killed and getting hurt at a rapid rate that I don't think we understand, and I don't think we not. Sometimes I think we are coming desensitized. When you hear a black man's been killed, a black woman been killed, it's like okay, that's like we all like that's some. I don't feel. I feel like come on now, there's something wrong with this picture. Most of my friends was like, oh, okay, Andrea, what's that? What's that about? But I'm like, ain't y'all upset? I be upset when I hear a black man's being killed, a black sister's being killed, and I just told my partner I want to talk about domestic violence because I went through a domestic violence, but at the same time is when black men kill not only the woman, they kill the kids now. That is something different now. Something have shifted, and I don't know where that is or what is the problem, but I want to know why and what is going on and how can I help. And like I told my girlfriends, if I can raise a black son to be better than what we're doing, I don't done my job because first I got to start at home. My daddy started at home with my brothers. Them got to start at home, and then when you start at home, you can go out to the community. You can go out and help your friends. You can be better.
amen. Do you want to communicate with anybody in the chat? Because I can easily drop the chat line. I know that we was having some voice issues.
There, I'm. Anybody want to ask a question? I have no problem.
No problem.
Mm-mm.
All right, chat. She is open for any questions that you have. You want to ask any questions, or if you want to ask me any questions, or make any comments, or anything. As they say, the doors of the church is now open. And like I said, I will have you back probably sooner than you can ever imagine. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I
Yeah.
see my brothers in the house, Jedi Mike, Jerry O, Miss B Finesse, Vaughn Bryant, Wally, and of course the one and only Tough Love. I got Trash Can Waves in the house. Boy, he rocking and rolling. But I did drop the track. The track. Hey,
Hey,
this is my oldest daughter.
Hi. How you doing?
hello. How are you?
I'm good.
See if you can drop your mic, drop your screen a little bit. That way, yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, there you go. All right.
Okay, so I understand exactly where you was coming from. When you were saying you wish there was a little more help. I know it was some comment saying that's the modern woman thinking, but I understand what you mean because there could be times. I'm gonna take me for example.
Mm-hmm.
There I have health issues, so there was times where I can't breathe or because I have asthma or whatever. My husband should be able to come and do something for himself. Should I just be not able to breathe in the kitchen and fall out? I didn't understand why people didn't understand where you was coming from with that, but I totally get what you were saying. Um, the cheating, I've been there. I've been down that road, and I understand. And I want to say that you are somebody. You are love. You are beautiful and
Thank you.
wonderfully made. And never let nobody tell you anything different.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
And I hope that encouraged you in some way. But I definitely understand everything that you said today. And it was very important, the things that you said.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm about to be 47 in 1 month. Okay. I just told my girlfriend I'm about to be 47 and I am truly happy. I'm truly happy at this point in my life. And you guys don't know. I went through a depression, you know. I was in bed for 2 years, and my daughter, she told me, she claimed that she raised her brother, but I was still paying the bills. But but I was in bed for 2 years, in depression, and just like, man, I wanted life, and I think the more I was depressed, I missed my mom, because your mom always, she could tell you how you could get up, baby, you could do it. And I miss my mom, and my mom is gone now, and it makes me sad that I feel like I wasted time just arguing with her and not and trying to fight for the right to be grown. Okay.
mhm,
So
mhm,
I look at my siblings and they got pictures of my mom. They got more pictures of my mom than I do. And it makes me sad, especially I had a moment on Thanksgiving. All my friends was like, "Oh, I'm cooking with my mom. I'm cooking with my mom." And so one my girlfriend was like, "Trey, why you mad? Why you snapping at people?" And I just broke down and said, "I miss my mama. Everybody else having Thanksgiving. I don't got my mama." And then I was like, I think about all the wasted time, and that would when my mother passed away, it made me think about the people who I love. No more wasted time. And me, that made me and my daddy more stronger. I said, whatever my daddy does, Andrea Lynch is gonna be right there for him. Period.com. Good, bad, or indifferent, because I will not have any more wasted time. Okay, he's the only parent I have right now, and I will not. And that taught me my mother. You know, God rest her soul. I miss her every day, but the wasted time that I had with her, I think about, I miss, and I promised myself I would never do that with my father, even though we got issues, and even though he get on my nerves. But I would not be no more wasted time. And that if I can lead a chat, that no more wasted time with people that you think if they're important to you, and you must, even some people I fell out with. Okay, I made up. I said, sister, I love you. I was dumb and young, and I had that the communication skill. Me and my best friend, we talking about debates. I went to therapy because of her too, because honey, that debate came an argument. Okay, and so I learned how to communicate better with her. But the wasted time when my mother passed away, we wasn't even talking. But when I ring that phone and I told her my mother passed away, she was there for me, and so we made up. So I think all the wasted time that I'm doing with people that I love, and I'm just arguing with them, and I'm not trying to fix what a problem is. I promised myself I wouldn't do it because my mama gave me she gave me that strength to say I'm a mama now. And so when my baby called me, I said we're gonna pray and it's gonna be all right. Because when mama say it's gonna be all right, you know it's gonna be all right. And so I
Let me
remember.
say this. Trash
And
can waves. Hold up, T. Trash can waves. Let me shut it down. Trash can waves. Let me go to this comment. Let me do this. Trash can waves. Yes, I was told when she was born that yes, I would go to jail for denying her. Yes, trash can waves. I would think she would have at least some kind of DNA of me in her, but she also has her own independent mind, voice, and a story to tell. So yes, trash can waves. My daughter got that. It was somebody else. Okay, I think I hit it all. Yeah. She might get upset though. She don't like that twin stuff. Trash can waves said we
I
look like
don't.
twins.
I don't. I am me and only me.
No, she
I
gonna
don't.
get hot if you
I
start
got a
talking
twin
about
sister
that.
too. I got a twin sister too. I changed my hair color because I want to stand out. Okay, I want
Yeah,
to.
yeah. I'm me and only me.
I want to be me.
Okay,
Okay.
there will never be another.
Yes.
Um, and to speak to go into what you said about you growing up in your family dynamic, and you were speaking about your mother and your father's relationship.
Mhm.
Mine was a little different. It was very toxic, very toxic to say the least. So as far as I think that even with a two parent home, um, it doesn't make a difference. At 18, I ran, hit the hills, ran, bye.
Mhm.
Best thing I could have ever done for myself.
I see.
Um, and I'm not telling nobody that's what they should do, but for me, it was the best thing I could have done for me,
Mhm.
my situation.
Mhm.
Um, because I don't know where I would be.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have even gotten to the point where I am now and got my mind together
Mhm.
because it was toxic.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of things that I felt was being done to me
Mhm.
that nobody saw, you
Mhm.
know? And so I think even with the two parent household, whether it was one parent, single parent, whatever, the child's gonna come out different.
Yes. My mom has 7 kids and we all are different,
Mhm.
different in different ways. And I have 2 kids, my adult kids. My son
Mhm.
is mild meat, my daughter is hyphy, and that's who she is. So the kids are gonna be different. And even though we co-parent, they're gonna be different. And I had to learn that. And even though I strongly think a 2-parent home is good. You can
Mhm.
still co-parent good kids
Yeah,
and
yeah.
be good, even though you don't live in the same home.
I think what's important is that both parents have to be in the correct headspace.
Yes.
And it's important that they both on some type of communication and agreement
Mm-hmm.
of how they uh, want to raise the child or the children.
Yes.
But when you have two people who are not on one accord and one is living this way and the other one's living that way, it's nothing but toxicity.
Yes.
So
Yes. And,
that's
and
Hold it. I need to address something. Hold on.
okay.
Salute to you, my brother Ace. I really thank you. Yes, this will be a privilege, and that is an honor. Absolutely. Um, I did not take it disrespectfully, and I do understand. And I want to thank you for having my back on this situation. I am going to tell you that when my daughter's 36 right now, but when she was raised up in the home, I'm not going to sit up there and tell you that the man she see today was the man that I was back then. I'm a totally different person. Um, Her mother and we did have a very toxic relationship, an extremely toxic relationship. And after we finally separated, divorced, I still had my youngest daughter. I was getting through college, and now I'm in a whole nother city, whole nother state, and built myself up as who you see today. But I am very honored by this. I do not take this as a dig at me. I do not take it as a negative at all. I thank you that only a man can recognize a man, and I appreciate the fact you see a man in me, you see the respect in me, and I thank you. And that's why I'm here on this platform, to let men know you can be better today than you was yesterday. So, I wanted to address that. The
Yeah,
joke has always been in the family that either we alike in mindset or we alike in looks. But it's very few females other than my youngest daughter. Now, my youngest daughter would tell you, yes, I look like my daddy. But even then, she's trying to separate herself from looking like me. But I just want you to know, Ace, I love you and I respect that. So I don't take it personal. My child ain't gonna take it personal. But I can admit that, 16, dang, boy, it's been a while. Years and years, almost 2 decades ago, I wasn't the man that I was today. But I appreciate you and I respect you. Much love to you. I really do.
yeah. I didn't take. I'm not taking it offensively either. I
Yeah.
just don't like it, whether it's him or my mama. So it's not nothing. I just want to be my own person.
Yeah. No, what it is, and I know exactly where he was coming from, because
Okay.
you have, he's not really targeting you, but you got women in the space that's like, oh, I hate my daddy, and da da da, and then they just go off on this toxic rage.
Oh, I've been
I
there.
would let him know that that's not where you was coming from. So he was
Oh,
letting, like, if you was coming out like that, he's like,
mhm.
well, how can you diss this man who's doing XYZ? So I knew where he was coming from. That's why I just wanted to bring a little clarity to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. um Anybody else want to come up? Y'all more than welcome. I'm gonna drop it one more time.
You more
She has
than
Then
do
I'm
you
anything.
have
gonna
a
let this
channel?
woman get rid of her voice, because
It's all hot air, and I have hot and Cali too. Hot and Cali is my
So
personal
you have
channel.
2 channels?
Yes, I have it's all
Oh,
hot air with my best friend, and
if
then I
I
have
got
okay.
moderators, put it's hot air in the chat for me.
Okay.
and
And I'm gonna reach out to you,
okay.
um,
It's
so that
called
you can
hot.
come.
It's called hot and Cali.
It's
Okay.
all
Okay.
And
right.
I'm gonna reach out to you
Okay.
to come to my channel to
Sure.
speak to women.
Yeah. I mean I think that I mean look, fathers, I believe fathers should play a important they play a role in a daughter's life and a son's life. Okay.
I
Now,
agree.
me and my son like this. Okay. But when my daughter and her daddy, that connection, honey, is no other. They like this. Okay. So he played important role in her life, and my son I play an important role, because a mother can nurture and provide, but she can't get at that black son how to be a man. Okay. And she can't get it, and she can't
That's
teach
true.
him how to be a man. And so when black women understand that that's important, they're gonna have some better sons. Okay. Then you wonder why. It was funny because my brothers used to hate this. Every Saturday, my dad was like, oh, go on there, cut that lawn. They was like, oh, I hate doing this. And my daddy was a little picky about my brother's haircut. They had to have a clean cut haircut every 2 weeks. And so, and it's so important because I'm so anal when it comes to my son, his hair. I was like, I got it cut every 2 weeks. And I believe that a son is supposed to wear a belt. And so my son is like
That's
23. I'm
right.
like, Where your belt at, boy? And he was like, Mom, I'm grown now. I said, okay. But my son who's 7, oh, he got a belt on. Okay. I believe in them structures of a boy. He should have a belt on, a haircut. It's something about, and I tell my son, it's something about a clean cut man. It's just gorgeous. Keep your hair right, boy. And he was like, Mama, I don't want my hair like that. But I think I got some ways from my father, because I see how my brothers had to get their hair cut every week. They had to wear a belt. They had to wear a collar shirt. And it's like, and I tell my son, when my son had an interview, I went and bought all his interview clothes. This is what you wear. This is how you go to do the interview, because a collar shirt, some slacks, and like, I think we forgot how to dress when you go to the interview. Because I'm like, what's wrong with y'all people? So I'm like, I'm still from the old school and the new school, but I like some of the old school weather. It just says your character, how you present yourself. Let me tell you something. I had a learning disability when I was in school, but let me tell you something. Miss Thompson, when she came to the IEP meeting, she was dressed to T. Okay, and I'm like, when I go to an IEP meeting for my kids, oh, Miss Lynch is dressed to T, because my mama always said, when you leave that house, you look ready. Okay. And she had 7 kids. And I was like, how you do it with 7 kids? But she would be ready, dressed to T. And that's something that I paid attention to. And how you supposed to raise your son. And my mom was like, put that belt on, because your daddy coming and he gonna be looking, got that belt on. And it is something, things that I think we overlook, and we forget about some of them values that we had for our children.
That'll
I
definitely
agree.
work. But what I'm going to do,
Mm-hmm.
as they say in the church house, if all hearts, minds, souls is clear, you will be back.
Okay.
I already got plans on where I'm placing you, what you're going to do. So there's you
But
got
yeah,
some work over here in the studio.
okay.
All
Well,
right.
look, I'm on the show called Real Mamas, Real Problems. We have a show called That's That Bullshit, and that's my baby. I've been doing that for a year or so, because that's our baby. We do that once a week, and we talk about real topics, real things coming to Black women, kids. We talk about everything, celebrity, and come over there and join us. We chop it up and have a good time, and we interview people. We just have a good time. I found some people on like-minded like me, might not be always like I like it, but they're like-minded like me, and I found it this niche in the community. And yeah, I got some friends in the beefing sector. They some good people, but yeah, nobody don't really know because they be beefing. But sometimes you got to look in the inside of who they are, and I got some friends everywhere. So I'm not just not only in this part of YouTube. I mean every part of YouTube, and I like what I see and who I hang out with.
Got you.
Can I respond to trash can waves right quick? Just for a second.
What's the question? Where is he at? What time?
Well, it wasn't a question, it was more of a statement, but
Uh,
said they was gonna check out my channel. Um there is material still on there. Um Mostly it's my stories about me. I know you don't want to watch the makeup reviews I've done, but um I do have my stories on there, but I won't be coming officially back until next month. Then you will have a lot of content. I just wanted to address that so that they know what they're in for. I mean, what that person is in for.
gotcha. Salute to you.
Salute, Uncle Stu. Hi, Queens.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine. How are you?
I'm good.
Whew, that was a lot. I just want to thank you for
Yes, it was a lot.
sharing it. No, I relate, but I relate to the premarital side of it. So, like, even when you're not married, they treat that situation like that's your spouse still. Like, the rules are
Yes.
the same in Cali. And I
Mhm.
went through all of that. And I've even done, like, I sought help after it was all said and done. But I went through the same thing. The only difference was I didn't have I wasn't like married, but it was still treated
Mhm.
as such. And my outcome was like violent, way worse. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
I don't want to get into that yet because it's just like so much, and people will have to hit my cash app and the cash apps over here. But I did wanted to say, it was crazy because earlier today I was watching Tony Gaskins. He went live on Instagram.
Mhm.
And one of the things he mentioned was about marriage. He's a married man, so I can't speak on it, but he spoke on marriage and he was saying how people need to seek professional help, like especially men. He was just saying, like, men need to man up, they need to grow up. If they're like over the age of 25 and still making the same mistakes they've been making when they were younger than that, then it's time to get some help. If they're doing anything negative to get money, killing, or drugs or whatever, it's time to seek professional help and things like that. And that was the reason why he had, created, I think it's mymentorlife.com or something like that.
Mhm.
So I'm not here to put my brothers down or my sisters down, but I am my sister's sister, you
Mhm.
know. And so if my crown needs to be fixed, fix my crown. If your crown needs to be fixed, I'm gonna fix yours. So I don't put down anybody, you know what I'm saying? But he mentioned something about men being men, how we need more men to be men. Not to
Mhm.
say there's not men out there being men, because he is a man who, you know, is a man and he's faithful to his and loyal to his woman and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So he's just saying there's nothing wrong with being faithful to one woman.
Mhm.
There's
Let me
nothing
let me
wrong with
let
huh?
me let me let me counterbalance that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Counterbalance that because now you're going to get a man that's going to really speak.
Okay.
If there's no balance, I don't know him, so I'm not here to bash a man.
Okay.
Okay. But what I am going to say is if he's going to stand up, he needs to stand up on both sides. Okay. If he's going to
Mhm.
stand up, he needs to be equal on both sides. Okay. If he's going to stand up and try to brag and boast about, I'm a man, I got this good wife, I want to really see it. If he can't show it to me, all that he's articulating means nothing because there is something called pandering. We had a man that stood up and said that for decades, and all the women ran and pandered to this man. And all of a sudden, that same man cheated. And guess what? All the women, oh, I can't believe he did that. When all the men was saying the same thing. So
But
I am very sensitive
mhm.
to a man that's always preaching level up, get it up, because let me be totally honest with you. The numbers has switched. The
Mhm.
numbers has switched. There's a whole lot of my brothers, because I can call 5 of them right now that are single, childless, and got money. They don't need mental health therapy. You understand? Now, there's only about 10% of my brothers that probably need some real help. But what's happened is this is always the conversation. They'll run to you women and they'll say, the men need to level up. The men need to level up. Why ain't no good? Y'all, all of y'all, all of y'all, all of y'all. And the women go, yay! But guess what? That's the same thing Derek Jackson did.
And when my girl was listening to Derrick Jackson, I damn sure I said he lying. And the reason I said Derrick Jackson was lying and not telling the truth, because in marriage, you're going to have ups and downs. In marriage, you ain't going to like each other. In marriage, the kids get on your nerves. In marriage, he was lying and not being truthful. And if you listen to this dumbass, you're stupid. Give him some money, because I'm not going to Derrick Jackson to ask for some advice. I'm asking my mama and daddy, my aunt, my uncle, my auntie, who got experience. Derrick Jackson is still young and he had a wife and nobody didn't know it.
Exactly.
So, and my mama always told me about this. If you're lying about something small, you're lying about something big. Okay.
Right. And
So
the other reason why I'm very sensitive over that issue is because I don't know if you've watched just this interview or others. If you notice that one of the things I do, especially when someone's really talking about themselves, is I need to hear two sides of a story. And what we have been doing in American society over the last 20, 25 years if we've only been hearing one side of a story and we never heard the other side? In the midst of her talking, in the midst of her communication, there was some issues she came into that marriage with. I can't blame every single thing on her husband when she came with issues. I have boldly said on this platform, I should have never married my oldest daughter's mother, in spite of everything that happened in the marriage. Why? Because there was some things that I came in with and I wasn't really ready for, because I was dealing with another issue, dealing with my youngest child's mother. So when it comes to men, statistically, there are more black male millionaires than you can imagine out here.
True.
A lot more than was in my generation. Okay. You got more black males that got college degrees, got businesses, got homes, and reproduce a higher economic status and reproduce the middle class neighborhood. But you don't hear about those men. You know why? Because it is easier to deal with the 10% than to see the 90%. Why? Because it might make women have to what? Level up. It might make women have to be held accountable. It might make women have to repent. And that is not a sociological norm, because it's not politically the power zone we want. Why? Because the more a woman is in power, regardless of her actions, the more money these bigger people make off of your dysfunction. Oh, this is about to be, you about to see me talk about who is the real Pookie, who's the real Ray Ray, and who's the real 304. Because I heard a testimony from the most powerful woman that told me, and I quote, why she do what she do just to survive. Her story isn't really being told. You feel me? So when I hear from the real Pookies, and I hear from the real Ray Rays, and I hear from the real 304s, all of us is making money and we just sitting around having fun off of 10%, but nobody talks about the 90% and say, hey, 90% of us is okay. Okay. And when I say the 10%, those are the ones we got to, hey, y'all need some mental health. We got to show you something better. We got to do better. But when I see a man who has a platform, and if his only platform is, if he's a man, he ain't talking to men, because most of my statistics, when I look at my analytics, is all men. So yes, that's my audience. Okay, that's my audience. Do I have 30% women? Yes, I do. And I feel that 30% of my audience I give voice to also. But again, who's blasting my email? It ain't the 30% of women. It's the men that is blasting my email. It's the men. And they hold me just as accountable as a man as anybody. So I need men to understand that, yes, I'm going to hold a certain sector of my brothers down in the sense of 10% of them. Yeah, I'm going to hold you accountable. I want you to have discipline. If you don't know how to come up, I got men that can help you to come up. Yes. But if you already up, then I need to put them in places where they can help other men rise up. But the rise up isn't always psychological. A lot of times that rise up might be a little financial. They might just need some investments over here. They might just need to learn how to travel. They might just need to learn how to get through a couple of paperwork issues. And then guess what? They come up too. You understand? But I tell any woman, be careful with any man. They got a platform and his whole platform is beating on men. That is a panderer.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Any platform that's sitting around, they going, yeah, girl, hate them dudes in the red pill community, hate that Kevin Zan, hate this one, hate that one, hate. Run. Because here's my attitude. If it ain't coming from a place of equality or at least a middle of the road, I'm telling you as your uncle, I'm telling you as a 54-year-old man, I'm telling you as somebody that has traveled the world, I'm telling you somebody that can sit there and say, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Be careful whenever a lot of people is running around beating up on black men and telling you, I got a good old woman and I'm this with my wife. When they start bragging like that, I want to come to your house. Let me look at your wife's face. Let me really see what's going on.
And I say, when anytime you hear a woman say something about not having a black son, I'm like, something wrong with that picture too. Okay, I got a problem with that. So something wrong with it.
Because I don't want nobody to pander to you.
Yes. Yes.
I'd rather than, if they can't be real in the back scene, they're not worthy in the front.
Yeah.
I purposely, when I started this platform, me and my daughter came on this platform together. Why? Because I'm going to tell you all my dirt so that nobody can come out here and say, well, Holmes Do said this and we found out this. No, you got to hear from the daughter. You got to hear from the father. You know all the dirt now. So guess what? If the daughter goes over here and sets up her own platform and do her own thing, you can't come in and say, well, she argued with her daddy and da-da-da. I already knew about her platform long before y'all even can imagine.
Yeah.
You understand? I know the date of the launch and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I want my daughter to have her own. She's going to cater to a whole different group of people. Amen. Salute.
Yeah.
So when you come here, at least to this platform, you coming to see your uncle to give you real knowledge, real understanding, real advice in real time with real love. You feel me? I'm good. I don't need 3,000 women. I'm comfortable with my brothers. I'm comfortable when I see Ace on the chat. I'm comfortable when I see Greg O here. I'm very comfortable with my manhood when Vaughn is here. I'm very comfortable when I see Trash Can Wait. I'm very comfortable as a man when I see We Ain't Signing Itch. I'm very comfortable. I don't need 3,000 women to say, you a man. No, I need to make sure that my brothers that are here is okay. And when they're not okay, I need my brothers either in my comment section or in my email. And there is nobody that's ever emailed me that never got a response because I care about their well-being in every shape, form, or fashion. And so I want you to go back because, like I said, I don't know the gentleman that you talking about. I don't. And I'm not going to bash him because I don't know his content. I really don't. But go back.
I was just breaking up like
no. I don't feel you did anything wrong. I'm not saying you did anything wrong. It's a humble wismatic warning. Check out the platform and see what he's saying and who his audience is. And if he's standing up there and his audience is predominantly women, my history says be careful.
Yep.
The men that the money I get, the money I get, anybody that cash at me, do I have women that support me? I do. But majority of my money come from men. You feel me? So Who's supporting this platform? My brothers. So I don't have to, when I say pander, that means everything you say is right. Yeah, girl. That Negro cheating on you. Yeah, girl. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you should have cut him. I didn't say that.
I didn't say it either.
You feel me? So that's where I'm trying to just go straight down the middle. So that's the only thing I'm saying. Just if you like him and he's helping you to be a better you, great. But if all he's talking about is men, 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 and what men need to do, how men need to walk, how men tell him come do an interview with Uncle Stu and let's really see where he's at. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I had a man who I interviewed. All I'm gonna say is it was interesting. There's a whole lot of stuff. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Can someone ask? Hold on. Ace had a question. Can someone ask sister to make me a sweater? Yo, I'm lost. I'm lost, Ace.
Sweater.
A sweater. I don't make things.
Oh,
I mean, I
I
make
didn't
stuff,
know.
but it ain't a
I didn't know if
sweater.
something was going on in the chat, or he was asking. He was asking one of y'all. I didn't know. My bad.
Oh, he said, I think he's talking to the other young lady right there.
Oh, okay. My bad. Okay.
I don't
My
make
bad.
things.
My bad. My bad. But my question to you, my sister, how are you doing?
Me?
Uh-uh.
Okay.
I think her name is Sister.
Yeah.
Oh no, I just wanted to I mean we could build on that later. I don't want to mess up the platform. But he was talking about how like one of the things, I don't know if you have insight on it, was like with failed marriages is
Mm-hmm.
like cheating and men being faithful to their women. I've also there was this other guy I came across,
Mm-hmm.
and he was talking about how miscommunication was like one of the number one reasons why people were divorcing as well. So I've heard two different things, but based on the person and who their audience is, it it can be different, So I don't know if that played a factor, but for me, it was crazy because he had said that, and I know another guy who said that miscommunication. So I looked at it like maybe those could have been two things that could have made the marriage fail. And of course, there's many other aspects and factors. And I agree with not having, both parties be able to build. You only get one side of the story as well. And I'm not choosing, I don't play the blame game. It's a lose lose situation. I always look for a win win
Mm-hmm.
situation where it's going to benefit all parties. And it seemed like what she chose to do after it was all said and done, I don't know if it was a win win for her, but long as the children is happy, she's happy, they were able to work it out. That's kind of what I saw. And I'm not beating
When
up
you
on
say
either party.
when you
Hmm.
when you say, let me ask you a question. When you say, as long as she had the children and they was happy, who is
That's
that?
not what I said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Say it one more, because I missed it. My bad. My bad. When you say,
Long as, like as long as the children were happy and she was happy and all parties were happy, then it seems as though it worked out for the benefit of all parties. Because if I could be wrong, but it sounded as if she let the child go stay with the father. So I felt like she worked it out in the best interest of the child. So I felt if that's what made the child happy and she was happy and the father was happy and the stepmom was happy, then it's a win-win situation on both sides.
I think what we have to
Uncle Stu,
yeah,
Bolo
Bolo's
wants the
in the
link.
house.
Yeah,
Oh,
he wants the link.
Hi, Bolo.
Are you
um
asking me when I make the decision that let my son go live with his father? Are you talking about me?
I think she was making a general you
Oh,
was
okay.
making a general statement.
Yeah.
Okay.
But everybody can't make that decision. Everybody is some of them decisions. Some that I mean, but because I made that decision, I don't think my girlfriend who's getting divorced thinking I'm gonna let my son go live with her father. But that was something that was important to me. If you think the father's important and you think he's a good man, everybody ain't gonna want that decision because sometimes some mothers is a little controlling, and so they gonna say no, my son ain't going to live with the daddy unless they giving him the child is giving the mother problem. Then they gonna say go live with your father. See, me and my son had a great relationship. He was a straight A student. I let him go live with his father because I thought that was the best interest of him. And when he asked me, I'm ready to go live with my father. I think it's good. Don't get me wrong. It took me it was a year in the making. And I was like, when he first came to me and said that, I said, oh, my dead body. I'm not playing with that. And you, my baby, I'm gonna keep you. But he kept on that whole year saying, Mama, I want to go do this. And then I was like, when I talked to my best friend about it, I said, you know what? Maybe he feel like he's missing something. He needs his father. Because don't get me wrong, his father was at his when I told his father that when I put my son in football, that his the football coach was like cussing him out. You know, he wasn't doing something. And I told his father, if you want to be the man in your son's life, and if you want to want a man who's on the field giving your son a hard time, baby, you gotta show up yourself too. You gotta be there too. So if you want to in the hand of being a father on that field too, you gotta be there too. So he turned his life around and put things on hold and came to that football field, came to that practice, and became a coach too. So I'm just saying is my son, it was my son who came to me. It was my son who kept saying, I want to go live with my father. It was my son who said, because I don't think I would have made that decision, but it was my son who felt like he was ready and he wanted to go do this with his father. And when he said that, the next year, I told his father, okay, he said he ready. And I told my son this, I ain't playing no back and forth with you. When you go down there, we in college. I'm going to see you every other week. Okay. And that's what happened. And he graduated and everything. But that was one thought. That decision was the hardest decision I ever made in my life, to let my baby, you know, go live with his father. But in the end result, I'm happy with the result. I did it. I would never regret that decision, because I do think a man should raise a man. And I didn't have I had brothers. I had a daddy, but at the same time is my daddy ain't like my ex-husband. So my daddy's ways and my ex-husband's ways, I didn't want my son. I wanted my son to be like his father. And so don't get me wrong, I love my dad, but some of his ways I didn't like. And so and I had 4 brothers and they had their own families. So how my brother gonna help me raise my son when they trying to raise their own sons? No, he has a father that he need to be raised by.
I'm gonna now let Bolo TV. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel when you get a
I think I'm
chance.
still subscribed to Bolo. Hey,
Okay.
Bolo.
Hey,
I've been on his channel a few times. It's been a
All
hey,
while.
right.
sis, what's going
Go
on,
ahead,
baby?
Bolo. Take it over, sir.
Big Unc, what's going on, baby?
What's going on, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm listening to this interview you're giving. It's phenomenal, right? Um, I think words are very important in which we say. So, excuse me. I think the first thing we need to get straight is it's not it's our child. You know, we need to really start speaking that, because a lot of the times when that possessive noun, it kills us, right? You know, my. It's our. It took us both to create that child. Also, um, the village is so important when we talk about not having the father. So let's say if the father wasn't there, let's say if the father was a deadbeat dad, not saying he, your child's father was.
Mhm.
This is where the uncles and, are so important. This is where they come in and they, many hands lighten the load. And this
Mhm.
is what we have to understand. You should never feel if your brothers are saying, let me help you, let me get in there and talk with you and talk with your son and be there with them. You should always allow them to be there because sometimes, Uncle Stu said this a while back that the main catalyst to start that thought process in your child should be his father. But what you have to understand too, it's going to take other men that's going to kind of mold him also to give them different perspectives, right? So your breakdown, I've heard you say several times that that your father was a good man,
Mhm.
and your mom, their marriage, the way it ran, you would do it differently. And Uncle Stu, he he very astute, man. Uncle Stu said, well, let's analyze it, right? If I'm gonna use me because a lot of times it's better to take you out of the situation to see it
Mhm.
clearer than to put
Mhm.
you in it. So if
Mhm.
my marriage is breaking up and my
Mhm.
parents' marriage is lasting 47 years,
Mhm.
I need to really sit down and take notes. I need to listen. And I think that a lot of us don't do that, right?
Mhm.
A lot of us want to be who we were before we came into the relationship. And it can't work that way. It can't. You know, so if I'm a man and, we always say that we're looking for a wife, right? Because the scriptures tell you a man findeth a wife.
Mhm.
The woman also findeth a husband.
Mhm.
So, I can't ask her to do something and be something that I'm not, right? So when she finds that husband, both of us have to change, right? There is
Mhm.
no perfect person for you. You make that person perfect for you. That's how that works. So when
Mhm.
you're saying that, I wanted to do what I wanted to do when I wasn't ready, and this and that, that's a lot of our problem as youngsters when we come into this relationship. It's me, 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 me. And, fortunately you grew from it,
Mhm.
but look what it took. You see what a hard head can do? You've gone through all those bumps and bruises, and it took for you to go through what you went through to learn. So now we're here. And the beauty of this is now you're a testimony. So
Mhm.
you're testifying, to what you've gone through. So the main thing should be that man to my left, if you're looking at the screen, that man to my left is a plethora of information. You understand? I'm only 48. I'll be 49 tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. That man right there is my elder.
Mhm.
So there's a lot that I have to sit down and ask this man questions and say, can you please explain to me what you did? And that's what, as young men, young women, we don't do, right? The scriptures tell you that the older woman shouldn't teach the younger woman. We don't have that.
Mhm.
And if the older women are teaching the younger women, damn sure the older men need to teach the younger men too, you know? And a lot of the times when I see my father, when I witness my father and mother's marriage, when they were
Mhm.
both here,
Mhm.
there was something that he did and something that she did. You lose some of yourself when you get into a relationship because it's not about you anymore. It's about that person, especially when, I as a head, like Uncle Stu was saying, I as a head, a lot of women take that submission thing as a bad thing, but there's a beautiful balancing act that is going on between a good man and a good woman because as a head, I become more of a servant to you. As a leader, I become more of a servant to my family because my job is to get what they need. My job is to incline my ear to what they need to their beck and call and go out there and do it. And your job is to facilitate me so that I'm able to do this. And this is how it's supposed to work. So you had a perfect or a good example of it when it came to your mom and dad, because a lot of times you said, I would see things that my mom would do and I would, that ain't me. Is your mom and dad still married?
My mom is gone. Yes, they were still married until she died. Yes.
My condolences. Right?
My
How long were you married for?
I was married for 6 years.
And they were married for how long?
47.
There's a lot that we can learn.
I don't
Your mom, your
I
mom and dad. I'm not
definitely
saying you didn't. I'm not saying you don't,
I'm
but
not I'm not saying look, I'm not saying I can't learn. I can learn stuff from my parents, yes. And I definitely think that the longevity, I definitely think, but let's be honest, is everybody married now? No, they not. If everybody gonna stay faithful to their wife for 47 years, I don't think so. Is everybody gonna think that marriage is ups and down? People right now are getting divorced because they're getting tired of each other. My mom and dad, that's longevity. People don't stay married that long.
you
I'm
know
just
why they're
being
not?
the truth. And
Miss Lynch.
I
You know
can
why
learn
they're not staying married, darling?
why they ain't staying married.
Because they picked the wrong person. They didn't pick the one that God had for them. That's why they're not staying married. See, our problem is we want who we want, but the
Mm-hmm,
Lord's going to give us who we need.
mm-hmm.
And we choose not to want that dull thing. We want the shiny thing, right? We want the shiny thing that makes our eyes pop.
all
And
that
that's
good.
what we go and get. And then we find out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, that's not what we were supposed to have. That's not what we should have chosen. So the reason why these men and women are not lasting in marriages is because, one, they're making it about them. You see, when you look at the parents before us, you see Uncle Stu's generation and beyond, their relationship wasn't about them. Their relationship was about the community. Their relationship was bigger than them. So when you know you have something that's bigger than you, something can't destroy that. If my relationship with you, per se, is just about our love, I mess up, the relationship is technically done, right? If you mess up, the relationship is technically done. We have a ceiling on our love. But when you make that relationship about the Father, our relationship has no boundaries. It has no limit. So we instead of us saying, well, we're gonna separate, we're gonna say, man, we need to work this out. Don't
Amen.
think your mom and dad didn't have issues. I'm sure they did. My
Yes,
mom and dad had issues, right?
yes, they
But
had issues, but
right, right. But what
my
I'm
mom
saying
told
to you
me,
is,
but she told me that she would never get divorced from my daddy. She told me that.
and what didn't they? Why didn't they?
Why? Because my
Yeah,
mom, at my mind,
right,
this is the child. In my
right.
mind, she felt like my daddy was everything.
And what did he think?
Huh? In
What
my
did
mind
he
as
think
a
of
child.
her? What did
And my
he
mother,
think of her in your mind and what did he think in your mind? What did he think of your mom?
my
Because
mom
you,
was everything to him.
there you go. And that's the problem. That's what we don't have now. We don't have that now. We don't sit there and say, I'm not going nowhere and we're working this out. We have no choice. We're going to get through this. We're too quick to quit. We're too quick
But
to
not
quit.
everybody, what I learned, but not everybody need to be together. And sometimes people just don't need to go their separate ways. And don't get me wrong, I I had much pain getting a divorce. I had much pain, and I stopped it for a minute. I second guessed myself, but at the same time, um I had more rage. And so my
If
thing
you
is,
could do it,
I had more rage. So I'm gonna be honest. Is I'm gonna hurt him. I mean, and I didn't want to be in somebody's jail house. Okay, and I got 2 kids. So I
aside
had to let it go.
aside from your two beautiful children, right,
Yes.
that you have mismarriage, would you do it over?
Was I marry Ronnie over again? Hell yeah, I married Ronnie over again.
So you would marry your child's father again, aside
Yeah.
from the children that you got from him. Why?
I marry because I wouldn't be Andrea Lynch today if I didn't go through the things that I want to. So the heartache
So,
and pain
mhm.
and the things that I want to, it had molded me and shaped me to the woman I am today. As I'm more grateful, but I didn't understand how to be grateful through that pain and heartache and want to hurt somebody.
So the conversation, so the answer, because I'm glad for the things that I've gone through in my life and
Yes.
how it molded me to be who I am.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of things that when I hear Uncle Stu speak, and again, I incline my ear to my elders to hear what they say because they have a plethora of knowledge, right? So when I incline my ear to hear them speak, there's a lot of things I say, damn, I wish I didn't go through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made me who I am today. But if I would have heard, if I would have listened, I wouldn't have had to bump my head on that staircase. I would have ducked. So when
So
you say, that,
okay, so hold on a
yes,
minute. I'm going to answer the question, but I want to answer this way.
please.
When you say, if I would have listened to my parents, was they?
No, no,
What,
no.
I'm
What
not,
I'm saying to you is, right? When I asked you if you would have gotten married again to your child's father, aside from the two blessings that you got,
mhm,
you said, hell yeah, I would, because it wouldn't have made me the person that I am now,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
Life is meant to be lived forward but understood backward, right?
mhm.
Because of the choice that you made, you chose to go through that heartache that you went through. Now, if you would have taken your time, if you would have taken the markers from your parents, maybe you wouldn't have made that decision that you made. Again, aside from the two blessings that you got, it doesn't mean that you wouldn't have turned out to be the woman that you are. You probably would have had a different testimony. But sometimes we have to say to ourselves, I wish I didn't have to go through that. I went through it and I persevered through it.
Hi,
However,
Tay.
I wish I didn't have to get shot twice to be the man that I am today. Right? I didn't want to get shot. If I could have done it over again, I wish I would have never got shot. I would have
And
listened.
and I
Let
think
me, let me,
think
let
this.
me.
I think this. Hold on a minute. I want to answer this question. And I think
Okay.
that if I would have listened to my mama and daddy, I probably been at home with them, not had no kids, and let them control my life. So no, I would say no. I'm a little different. Okay, they raised me to be a free thinker and do my own thing, and they had a problem with me being a free thinker and doing my own thing. So if I would have listened to them, I would have been at home alone, been at home with mama and daddy, controlling everything about a part of my life and everything else in my life. And so, no, I wouldn't. I'm not going to change anything. And I asked my therapist this: when you say all them woulda, shoulda, couldas, that's when you. So no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't change it because I know the outcome how my parents was, and it's trying to escape their house. Period.
So you go
Here,
ahead,
here's
Uncle Phil.
hold on, Bolo.
Mhm.
Here's what I'm going to challenge.
Okay.
And I don't want you to answer that question here. I
Okay.
want you to take this to your therapist and you have a back channel and you email me the answer.
Okay.
Okay. Because Bolo said the same thing I said in a different sort of way.
Mhm.
I had you going down a certain path and you went there, you regress, you went back, you regress. And I'm very familiar with the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Ask your therapist, was you mature enough to interpret what was going on in your parents' house? Because the one thing I keep hearing that's consistent, and you said this consistently. As a child, I saw my mother and I understood what my mother was thinking. And every time someone asked you, did your mother say that? You never could say, oh, my mother told me. Because let me say this to you,
Mhm.
okay? Although I said that my home was very dysfunctional and my child is on this panel, some people say, well, why didn't you leave? Because I got children. My kids could not interpret every single thing going on. They saw it,
Mhm.
but how in the world was they going to fully interpret dysfunction? They can't. My daughter said, and it's on another live. They said, how does it feel to be with your daddy? She says, and I quote, I knew my daddy. I knew the old one. I don't know the new one. Meaning, what I see today is not the man I was raised with. So she's relearning me all over again. right?
Mhm.
Let me take that same statement. What I may have interpreted about my own parents
Mhm.
and how they did things in the house, I could have interpreted totally wrong. Have you ever heard this statement? This is a statement that men say to other men or fathers or really sons say about their father. They say, the older I get, the dumber I feel and the wiser my father gets. Have you ever heard that statement?
Yes, and I
And that's where we want you to freeze. Because the reason I say take that back to the therapist
Mhm.
is because I don't want you to feel defensive.
Mm.
Because right now, I can
Mhm.
sense defensiveness, like I'm going to justify certain, and I'm saying, I don't even want you to do that. Because I know how things can get.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't feel defensive. I don't feel offensive, but now, I mean, the older I get, the more I lean on my father. The older I get, me and my father got a better relationship, because keeping 100, I was a little mad with my father in certain instances in my life, because I felt like he was controlling my mama so she wouldn't talk to me. And so the older I get, I the resolution to me and my father, we're good now. The
Do you know
resolution,
that,
we
darling? You
good.
know that's not your father, right? You
What you
know,
say?
that's not your dad. That resolution that's coming from you
Mhm.
is your older self reconciling with your younger self and saying what
Right.
you saw wasn't really what you were seeing.
That's the point that I'm
That's
trying
what
to,
Uncle
right.
Okay,
Stu is
okay,
trying to tell you. So
okay,
it's like,
okay.
remember when we were one and we thought 1 + 1 was the end of the earth,
Yeah.
and then when we finally grasped it, the times tables came, and
Mhm.
you're like, damn. Then dividing came, and you're like, wow. So your 10-year-old self is not gonna see what that 5-year-old self saw. It's gonna interpret it different. Your
Mhm.
15-year-old self is going to look at that same thing. Then your 30-year-old self is going to look at that same thing. So the evolution of the understanding of that same thing. Now remember, it's the same quote, it's the same statement, it's the same movie. But
Mhm.
as you gain experience, you start to see things from a different perspective. This is why the Lord tells you, forsake ye not the assembly of one another. Why? Because what I see, my limited life that I've been on this earth, my uncle's been here longer than I.
Mhm.
So there's gonna be a different way he sees things because he's went through something different. So Jada, she's gone through something different. Tina, sister, they've all gone through something different than what I've gone through. So for
Mhm.
me to incline my ear, it's like standing in front of a Picasso painting. It's 100 foot tall, and you're 2 inches from it. You're not going to be able to see the whole picture, but if you stand back from it, you'll get a different perspective. So, me asking the questions of all of these different men and women, it's painting that picture for me to give me a better perspective of what I'm trying to do and where I'm trying to go. And that's the clarity you're getting. The clarity you're getting is the little girl, Miss Lynch, is now being corrected by the grown woman, Miss Lynch, and saying, oh, what we were watching was something different. And you're having a conversation because a therapist is a mirror. That's all they are. What
Mhm.
they do is what's beautiful about talk therapy, because as you talk, you have to relive it. You have to
Mhm.
relive what you're going through. So
Mhm.
the beauty of the brain that the Lord gave us is we're able to sit down in that situation, right? And panoramically move around in that room in our mind's eye and see things from a different perspective in a third person. Take your emotions out of it, take yourself out of it, and look at it for what it is, not for what you want it to be. And that's why you're coming up with those different perspectives, saying, I see things differently now. Why? Because that little girl that fashioned you, you're now starting to grow out of that and say, that little girl, Miss Lynch, she had it wrong. We saw things differently, right? So you're thinking that your parents were trying to control you. I went through that with my children. They would
Mhm.
say, I'm trying to control you. Now, my son, he says, I see what you were saying, Pops. I get it. Well,
Mhm.
yeah, it's not me trying to control you. It's me trying to grow you. It's me trying to get you ready so that when you have these of this vast information. Now, when you go through it, you can say, okay, I remember Uncle Stu told me to dip and then move left. And then that's what you do, and you'll watch it work and say, damn, I'm glad I listened. And that's the whole point. It's not about being defensive, because when we get defensive, like Uncle Stu was saying, we tend to lose what we're supposed to gain, right? And the thing that I say all the time is, to me, the most important thing of prayer, it's not the prayer itself, it's the being patient and wait for the answer. You know, a lot of us don't want to be patient to look in that mirror. And Uncle Stu mentioned it earlier. That mirror is a hell of a thing, man. That mirror will jump out and bite your ass. But we can't be afraid, because that mirror shows our faults. It shows where we're broke, and we can repair it.
Jetty LaRue.
Hey,
Welcome,
Uncle
welcome.
Stu. Hello, hello, and hello to everybody on the panel. Hello to everyone in the chat. Thanks for having me up. I will agree, Bolo does kind of sound like Obsidian, just without all the sound effects and all of the craziness. Because for a second I did look like, is that Obsidian? Because
Is that
I've
a
heard his voice a
compliment?
little.
Is that a compliment or not?
That's a compliment.
I
If we
like
had Obsidian up here,
I like
I think I
Yeah, I
have
don't have a problem with
500
Obsidian.
people in my chat right now.
Okay.
You got every bit of number that you need right here.
That's right.
It ain't about the quantity, it's about the
You
quality.
know
And
it.
we are in the building rocking with you today.
All right.
So, and I appreciate you guys' insights on different things. Uncle Stu, Bolo, you guys just expressed what I actually came up to speak to Andrea about, because I did notice that a lot of answers that she had, or a lot of thoughts that she had, came from what she witnessed as a child between her parents. And I think it might, or not might, I know it's important for you to strip away what you thought about as a kid looking at your parents. I cannot lie to you. I do not agree with the things my mother did. I don't agree with the things that my dad did. But one of the things that you said that is different from my parents is that you said that you thought your mother was great. You thought your father was awesome. He was a great dad. And the reason why your mother was still with your dad is because she felt like that was her king. And what worked for them for, what'd you say, 47 years or something like that?
47 years.
47 years. Honey, they beat you by 7 times the amount.
They did.
They beat you by 7 times the amount. And what you're going on constantly has been what you witnessed as a kid. And as a kid, we don't really like rules, right? We don't really like sternness, right? Let's be real about it. We don't
That's
really
true.
like it. We like the functionality of it, but we don't really like work and rules and stipulations and roles and responsibility, because we're kids. So we don't want all of that. And what you saw was your mother being a mother and your father being a father, and then them being husband and wife to each other. And what you felt was is that your mother did way too much for your dad. While she was sick, while she was well, whatever, you felt like she was doing too much. She was being a wife. She was being a helpmate. When you said, why couldn't he get his plate, and you had to help and things like that, you were playing your role as the child in the house. When a man is working and taking care of things, the wife and the children who are old enough take up for the house duties, so that man comes home and feel at peace. He should be able to get a plate and eat. He's providing for all of you.
True.
You get what I'm saying? So the things that you are considering is like, man, she shouldn't have had to do that. She didn't feel well. Listen, I did that for a guy I wasn't even married to. I ain't been married yet. Allow me to say that. But I am not far from being able to give good advice, because I have ran into majority good men in my life. They just don't fit some of them qualities that I do want. They're great. They're awesome. I can take them and sit them with another woman if she's good, and they're going to make a good combination, because they're not like me. I still have things I have to work through. I'm gonna be honest about that. I still got some things that I have to work through, mostly because I've gotten to a point where I want brother husbands nowadays. But nonetheless, and when I say that, it's just like sister wives. Okay, so I kind of think like, I'm going on 40. I'll be 40 in a month. I kind of want brother husbands if I got to get married. But nonetheless, I say this, that even if I had brother husbands, I would still be committed to being a helpmate to both those men. I'm settled in being the wife. I don't want to control it just because I have two men. But what I'm saying is this. A lot about what you said about the dad, that your ex-husband, was a lot of complaining. If you go back and watch the video, there's a lot of complaining. And what you reacted to with the complaints that you made was trying to hurt him for trying to be good. Go back and watch your video.
Okay.
A lot of it was you trying to hurt him for being good. Hurt him because you were mad. And I think you mentioned that what you say, he cheated?
Yes.
Jada,
Is that what you mentioned?
Jada,
Yes.
say the famous tough love in the house. Say the famous tough love statement. Because it's about to come out now. Come on, we'll say it together. Jada about to piss somebody off in here. Oh, yeah, we forgot to.
I want to make sure that I say these things because us as women, and even some of the men, but a lot of times us as women, we take for granted the type of men that we have. So there are some men that could be way worse to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that don't get it twisted. I'm not like my sisters where they say that my daddy was better than their daddy. And I look at the picture like, my daddy didn't tell nobody about me until I had to force him at 30. Mm-hmm. He had no reason to hide me. But I had to force him at 30 because I was going to the funeral. He told me that I had no family members. Everybody was dead. That's why I didn't know nobody. And it turns out he kept me a secret for years. Okay. So, and that's not one of my dilemmas. That's not one of my issues. I've been got over that. But they would say like, no, your daddy is good. And I'd be like, we comparing shitty things. They both were horrible. They both weren't no good. But in your situation, it doesn't sound like you were dealing with that. Yeah, he cheated. And I'm not going to knock that. You have the right to have your feelings. I ain't going to tell you ain't right for that. I ain't going to tell you that your lash out wasn't right. It was a little cruel. But I'm not going to tell you that what you felt in the moment is not your valid moment. Okay? Mm-hmm. How you dealt with it is how you dealt with it. And you've grown from that. And that is great. Mm-hmm. But I didn't hear you say he did anything bad before the cheating.
No, he did it.
So then that's the moment for you to think about it. And I know us as women, a lot of times I tell women, we ain't got to look in the mirror all the time because it's the men. Mm-hmm. But in your situation, I'm going to think that when you look in the mirror, you see that little girl that's looking at their parents. And a lot of stuff that you did with that man is a result of how you felt as a child about your parents. Wow. And they were playing their roles.
Yeah, wow.
There you go.
So the way that you dealt with your husband and the way that you thinking about dealing with future men, that got to change. You got to strip that out. You got to strip that out because the only men that are going to come in a situation with you in the mindset that you have that will stick with you are going to be men who may use you, men who, I was going to say that might abuse you. Didn't you mention that you were in an abusive relationship?
Yes. He almost killed me 15 years ago. He tried to choke me to death. He was a younger guy.
See what I'm saying? So these are going to be the type of men that you're going to attract because they see in you somebody who is still broken. You get what I'm saying?
You think I'm broken?
There's men who know how to pull out the broken women.
Okay.
There are men who know how to pull out the broken women. And I'm not saying that you are damaged. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that because there's a lot of things that are broken that can be mended. Mm-hmm. A lot of things that's broken get mended and turn out better than the newer thing that's sitting up there looking nice and pretty, but ain't worth nothing. So you are worth something. You are worth moving forward, but you got to change that mindset of looking back at your childhood moment in the mirror. I'm not going to do this for this man. No, why I got to do X, Y, Z? One of the things that you said is that you was working at the daycare, okay? Well, you had a man that was providing. I heard you say he took care of all the bills. You didn't have to worry about nothing. True. So instead of quitting the daycare, you quit your marriage. Just let that thought sink in. Instead of quitting the daycare with other kids, and you come home to I'm tired of doing all this stuff. The kids is over women, this and that and the third. But you didn't quit the daycare. All these kids. You quit your marriage. You quit your husband. You said, look, I'm tired of this. And I'm not trying to harping on you. This is not a harping moment. When I say this, I completely say it with love. I completely say it with the thought of just like, sister, look, I just want you not to continue the path and end up with another situation. It's because a point where us as women, we get too grown to be piling into different situations, whether it's the wrong situations or good situations, and then we're the person that's messing up the good situation. That right there is not just a lesson for you. It's also a lesson for your children. The things that you did to your ex-husband in the midst of time, and again, for you, it can feel like it was valid, and I'm not going to take that away from you. We deal with things how we deal with things. But I'm guaranteeing that the way that you responded affects your children. And one of the things I want you to do, have talks with your children. I don't know if you mentioned that because I had to leave for about 30 minutes. But have talks with your children. Wait. Have talks with your children. Do not blame the man. Do not complain about the man. Do not talk about your parents. Talk to your children. When you talk to your children, you're listening and also hearing, because sometimes we can listen and we don't hear. So listening, hearing, and taking in for yourself, because it's not just for them, it's for you. Take in for yourself what it is that they are telling you so that you can change that and be the role model look that they see so that they're able to get into relationships more healthy and have long-lasting relationships / marriages. Because I hear some people don't want to get married nowadays, but that could also be because of the stuff that we give off.
And I to be honest, I have had these conversations with my children because they said, Mom,
without the parents, without talking about your parents,
without talking about my parents, just me,
without talking about their daddy.
Yeah, without talking about their daddy, just me. The children have told me some of your acting out and acting a fool was embarrassing for them. So I had to take responsibility and tell them, I'm sorry. I'm better now. I don't do that anymore. Good. I don't have a problem saying I'm sorry. I don't have a problem saying I could have been better. And I don't have a problem saying I didn't have the tools to communicate better. And my kids know it. And my kids are proud that I went to therapy because they said how I respond to them now is totally different.
Good. So, oh my goodness, because I be looking at my mother sometimes like
I can
you need to go see therapy.
Even with my father, to this day, we have had deep conversations. And he said, one thing he told me, I didn't know no better. I didn't have a father. So how I wanted my sons not to be in jail. I wanted my daughter not to have no babies. Now, I didn't see no father in the house. So how was I supposed to help raise y'all when I didn't see my own father? And so I had to learn, I had to forgive him because if my father didn't know no better, how was he supposed to raise us if he didn't have nobody in there to show him?
Let me hit two different points.
Okay.
I'm going to go back and then I'm going to talk about the father part.
Okay.
Let me go back. Jada LaRue said to you about a man, and I'm going to tell you as a man. Yes. I was a dirty man. A dirty man.
So you was a dirty old man or just a dirty young man?
If I was a dirty man,
make sure I know.
Yeah, if I was a dirty man, you know you heard these terms, women for the street.
Yes.
I could be that man because I could take all that brokenness, and by the time I get through with you, I would have had my 1, my 2, my 3 night stands and bounce real easy. Do you understand? That's just based on everything I heard. But I'm not that man today because I need you to be healed.
Amen.
I said to you, there's a certain part of you I need you to take to your therapist. Why? Because I've said it over. Bolo said it. Jay LaRue came in here and said the same thing. What I hear is that you have not dealt with being a child. Now, there isn't a parent that I don't know of that wouldn't say, if I had the chance to go back and do this over and that over, you know why we could say that? It's because we think about all the mistakes of what we know now to what we could have been. But guess what? We did the best we could with what we knew when we knew it. Period.
Yeah, that's why I say I don't want her to think that I'm mad at her and judging any thought, because what she did is what she thought that she was dealing with and what she did. So
and that's our whole life. Now, how do I know this? Okay, let me switch to two people again. There were issues her and I had. But guess what? There were stories I didn't know about her. But at the same time, there were stories she didn't know about me. Do you understand?
Yeah.
There's areas where I had to live and things I had to do just to survive. That wasn't for her to know. There are things that parents don't tell children. Even when we think we hadn't, we may not be totally hiding. But it's still for you not to try to interpret adult situations. And you have been stuck in trying to interpret an adult situation. Remember I said, I got something I need you to take back to your therapist.
I'm going to take it back. And
I need you to be honest with your therapist and say, there's one part of me that I have not let go yet. Because Jay, I said to you much earlier, and guess what? Jay LaRue came back almost 2.5 hours later and said the same thing.
Okay.
And I said to you, I noticed you came into the marriage with a whole lot of junk. And you came into the marriage pure hell, not ready. And then as soon as you smell that you were like your mama, you did all of this. And the first thing I said was, are you going to accept your part that you came in messed up? So you telling me that this man is supposed to love you in your messed up state. If I would have started really going in the way, I'm going to be honest with you, I saved you from the chat.
Okay.
Because my brothers in the chat would have flipped the table over hearing you. And let me tell you what they would have said. And I want any man, I just want the men right now. Just give me a one if Uncle Stu is getting ready to say this right. Now let me say it like the manosphere would say. Ready?
Come on with it.
Lord, not the manosphere.
Yeah, listen. They would have came at you. You was unaccountable. You refused to be accountable. And all you did was blame the man for your unaccountability. They would have tore you up on any other platform. And guess what? Can I be totally honest with you? This is big on talking. They'd have been totally right. They'd have been 100% right. And the accountability that they would actually be asking for is that you would have said, okay, let me tell you what my issues is. I came into marriage messed up and I did this and I did this. And when I recognized this, I went and got help for this. And now I'm getting ready to start a platform so I can tell other women not to do this, and this. Now you want me to repeat back who you are?
Sure.
Oh, I did this, but I did this, but I did this, but I was so mad. And then you really dropped the ball when you said, yeah, he cheated, but it was really the white woman. And I would have took the sister, but it was the white. So you took it to a whole nother level. So in reality, I'm letting you know Uncle Stu used a little wisdom because you said some triggering stuff.
Okay.
That my brothers would have went ballistic on. You would have made my boy in China jump on this chat.
They've been calling it out.
Drop the link. He would have tore you up in a nice way. But
they've been calling it out.
With that,
listen, when I thought that was obsidian, I was like, oh, obsidian is being nice today.
Exactly.
When you had the Polo TV, I was like,
Yeah, because they've been calling it out in the chat.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Bolo got fired though. He can get like a Obsidian, but he can get more. He can. He got there with me like that. I went off a long time ago. So yeah.
So
I gotta remember that you come from the manosphere, though, Uncle Stu. Salute.
Right.
But I gotta remember you come from me.
So Adrian, this shows you that I walk in wise wisdom.
Sure.
And
I don't boldly. People can have their opinion about me. People can have an opinion about me. I don't. I'm not mad. It don't make me upset or I'm. And please and to let me think. I never thought about it until y'all is bringing it to my attention. I had some deep issues when it came to my parents' relationship. Okay, so it registered right now. Just listen to y'all talk to me. I think about I didn't like some of their ways, and so it didn't register. And so I'm listening to y'all that I had some reservation and deep issues when it came to my own parents' relationships, and I've been trying to reconcile, trying to figure out, but I did have conversation with my mother, and it was in conversations that I didn't think she was being completely honest when I asked her questions. So my mother
again, stop right there. Stop right there.
Okay.
Stop right there.
Okay.
Remember I said to you, and I quote.
Yes.
I said, see, you about to make me drop the link. Because the very person I was talking about showed up and said, oh, I'm still listening.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you did it all over again. You talked about your mother.
Yes.
And immediately you interpret what she said instead of just accepting her truth. You immediately jumped in and was like, she said this, but she did it, but let me help you with something.
Okay.
Let me help you with something.
Uh-huh.
If my woman decided right now,
yes,
after working an 8-hour day, to go and fix me a full course meal.
Okay.
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 I've been home all day. According to you, I've been home all day, ain't doing nothing. She decided to go in. You would probably be the best friend that would tell her she's stupid. She's dumb.
No, I wouldn't. If that's what you want to your husband, that's your business. But let me tell you something. I do believe, and I'm sorry to say, maybe people get mad with me. I think in times my mother was not being honest with me, and I can't recognize, I can't salvage that because I don't think she was being really honest when it comes to certain instincts of my father, and I don't.
You want it, and that is the part I need you to talk to your therapist about. You want to know why?
Why?
Because you're habitually repeating the same thing. In order for you to feel good about you needed your mother to say, "Yep, your daddy won't shit. Yep, your daddy was dead." And you would feel real good. You can accept your mother's relationship in the purity of love she lived in. You can accept the truth. You know when TLA says, you can't handle the truth. Why you can't accept truth? Don't have me. Look, my boy is in the office. Do you want him to come up here? Maybe you don't understand my life. Do you want me to get tough love? I'm about to tell you to come up here, tough love. Tough love. Just one of your people, tough love.
Let him come. Let him come. Let him come.
Oh,
Do you get it? I just and if you don't, then then I'm gonna go right back to the same thing. I need you to take this conversation and take it to your therapist. And I'm not saying therapist to be crazy.
No.
I'm saying therapist to see if we hearing the same, because 3 different people done heard the same thing. Now, if I interpret something wrong and Jay LaRue said, no, this is the part that you missing, then I say, okay.
Quiet. Olivia, be quiet.
But I done heard Jay LaRue. I done heard Bolo.
Mm-hmm.
And now all the way from China.
Okay.
You need all the way from China, chilling in his office. We ain't signing itch. He done took the itch off, and I'm gonna keep saying the itch part.
Well, because I wanna, you know, I know this is a Christian space, so I wanna, you know, be respectful. So thank you, Uncle Stu. I heard it. I wasn't. I'm doing a couple things, but I heard it. Okay. So I just have like 3 questions. My first question is that okay? First, let me understand. Do you blame your mother for your failed marriage?
No. That was all me. It was me.
All right. Because you keep saying because like your mom and your father's relationship, things like that, you keep bringing that up, and then my I guess my second question. Well, you can't do that now. My second question is this pretty much because now your husband is remarried, correct? Is that correct? Did I hear that right?
Yes, he is.
Okay, so. Are you planning? So, if you are planning to remarry, are you looking at what you have done wrong in a relationship and what you contributed to the breakup to try to be better moving forward?
Yes. It was things that it was things I didn't communicate right. It was things that I didn't say what I didn't like. It was things that now anybody who's I'm with, I want them to know the truth, Andrea. If I don't like something, I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't like this. I am more honest and open with myself than anything. And the person who I'm with.
And you're looking for like a partnership, right? You said that before. You want a partnership more than
a partnership. Look,
nothing wrong with that.
No, I want to be loud and I want to be clear about partnership. When I say partnership, look, I don't have a problem being a submissive wife, okay? And that's not nothing that I'm saying. I'm saying that, but I do want a partner. I don't understand why everybody think that's wrong to have a partner. I think a man can be the head of the house. I believe in all that, but the woman is there too to be in the partner with her. So what's wrong with that?
Okay. Well, the only reason why I hold up, what we ain't signing. The only reason why I said that because, in all honesty, that's a triggering word for a lot of men in this space. Because when they hear the word partner, they hear total equality.
No, that's not what it means to me.
Reinterpreted it.
I will tell you what it means to me. Okay, it's a different with everybody else. What it means to me is I am your wife, and I'm right behind you. You the head of the household. But let me say this: if you're going to buy a car, okay, can you inform the wife? Can we make a decision together? Like can you talk to me about stuff when you
spend
money? Okay, but that stuff was happening, and it was happening, and I wasn't that important. So I'm saying is, if we gonna be together, and this is ours together, if I'm your wife, you're gonna buy a car. I don't got a problem with that. But can we have a conversation? Can we talk about it?
Well, the thing. Well, first, I want to say I'm not red pill.
Right.
So I believe that people should be able to look for and do whatever they want as long as it's communicated. So, for example, when you said that you want a partnership, that's okay. Even if you wanted a partnership that looks different than what you explained, it's okay as long as it's communicated. Because I believe people have the right to do things as long as it's not hurting other people. But I will say one thing. I do agree with you about how about your mother and father relationship, because people don't understand. We learn relationships and marriage dynamics from our parents, right? So, if you know how your parents' relationship is, there's a strong possibility, and more than likely, you're going to end up in that kind of same relationship. So, I kind of agree with you on that point when you're talking about your mom and father, because that is your first teacher as far as how to, you know, get along with a man, and vice versa, right? So I kind of agree with you on that, right? So I do agree with you on that. But I think where it's a little bit kind of wondering is just that it kind of feels like, at the end of the day, it's not your fault, right? Or maybe it's coming across that way. It's not your fault, because I'm a big component of, at the end of the day, you made your choice. Like, you chose the husband of your children. You made the choices. So even though things didn't work out, you made that choice. So that's all I want to say.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something that I do. This is just me as an example.
Okay.
One thing that I've learned to do, and I'm gonna say since I've been doing live streams, um, is I always take a day off from the live stream and visit the live stream again. And then I surround myself with people that has observed the live stream or is in the live stream that can give me feedback on what I said, how I said, my mannerisms, etc. It allows me to grow. Then I sit back, and when people give me suggestions, and I know that these suggestions is because they love me, they care about me, they want to see me be the best version of me. I take the suggestion, I learn from the suggestion, I try the suggestion, and guess what? If it works, then I keep on doing it.
True. I agree with that.
No matter the age, no matter anything. You see what I'm saying? So, because if I'm trying to get to a particular place and I prayed to get to this place, then I have to listen to people that's either already been there or on their way there.
True. I agree with
You
that.
see what I'm saying? So I like to believe that you coming into this space, speaking your truth, what you believe, what is your truth, letting everybody hear your truth, get to know the real you, not the persona, not the YouTuber, but the real you, and hear your real story. And then having many people to say, hey, we're not here to beat you up. We hear this.
Yes.
We hear this. We hear this. Because I can't say if your therapist ever heard it or even cared. I don't know. I don't know your therapist. But we're saying, hey, we hear this. Hey, we hear this. We hear this. Here's something that a lot of women don't understand. We listening. You think we don't. We listening. And so when you say certain things, we know, okay, this woman's unaccountable. I'm out of here. And you sitting there talking about, what I do? But we hear when you're not being accountable for something. We hear when you're shaming other people. We hear when you're saying, oh, I targeted this man. And then later on, you even got deeper in why we hearing this. You see what I'm saying? So to me, wise wisdom says, okay, if I hear this and other men hear this and other men's hearing this, Jada LaRue said it best. Some of us would have taken advantage of everything you said. And then you be trying to figure out, how did I get here?
Sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because
yes.
we can hear the brokenness.
I agree with that. I agree. It never.
We can hear the weakness, and we can, and some men will play on all of that just to get what they want. And guess what? You're going to give it to him because he's going to say what you want him to say. He's going to pander to those areas at. Yeah, your father wasn't SHIT. Yeah, your dad ain't this. Yeah, girl, I won't treat you like this. And you be like, ah.
No.
You think you're not. You talking to a grown man.
Fall from Grace was a great example.
Okay. But one of the things that I'm saying is, if someone said one thing to me, I might dismiss it.
Yes.
But if 2 people say it to me, I might have to think about it. But if 3 people say it to me, I might need to be quiet and learn something. Jada LaRue?
Yes.
And might I add, sis, I think the reason why we're mentioning this, because it might strike you as this is some old stuff. I ain't even married to the man no more. And my mother, rest in peace. My mother has passed away and all these. So why they keep bringing this up? I'm not in this moment. We heard the live. I might have been gone for a good 30 minutes, but we heard the live. And I said it earlier on, you are still in the moment. You may think you're not, but when you talk, I can feel it all in you. It's like it shows all over your face. It shows in your body mannerisms. You are still in the moment, whether it's consciously to you or not. And so we're mentioning it because we don't want you to continue to fall into the trap thinking that you are majority healed from it, because you still rolling in that sad moment where you be thinking, like, as a kid, your mom this, your dad that. And then going into the husband's own, my husband was like this. This guy over here was like that. If you don't break it completely, and it could take some time. Everybody is different. The levels are different for when people change. Okay. So it just recognize that you are still there. You have to admit to yourself that you are still there. It's even times where I can see you in the lab and your mouth is twitching. It's like you want to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's like you want to jump and be like, but y'all don't understand it. This is what we got you. We here for you. We supporting you. We all there. It's like, for me, it's no judgment zone. I may be saying my advice and my thoughts to you, but it's not judgment. That is love. That is me talking to you like I would anybody else, even my daughter. This is how I talk to people. I just say it in a plain fashion. I don't like having to sugarcoat and be like, girl, I can't do that part. I really can't. It's not in me.
I wouldn't ask nobody if I'm gonna keep it real. I wouldn't ask nobody else to keep it real with me. I don't want no smoke and mirrors. I'm just not with that.
Yeah.
You could tell me if you see something wrong with me. I will try to fix that. And maybe it is.
Feel free to tell us too, because I think some of us on this panel, we all okay with getting that, because I think we are all here up under Uncle Stu because we all want to improve. We all want to be the best us that we can be.
Yeah.
So I think everybody in here can take that criticism if it comes to that point. So,
and maybe I did not recognize that my parents, my little girl parents, my parents' marriage bothered me, and maybe I personally didn't feel like I had the free space to say that. Okay, and so maybe it has played on in my head in where I seen things different, and maybe it has shaped me to see things that wasn't there. I will put it that way.
And there's nothing wrong with saying you didn't have the safe space.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that, because there is platforms that you couldn't get on and say what you say. There are other platforms that you would have got on, and the women would have been cheering you on, toxicity on top of toxicity, and you be walking out of that platform talking about, I'm okay. And meanwhile, you toxic as a mother jumper. You feel
taking
me?
it to the next relationship, punishing that man too, because you rebelling against being your mama.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. You are rebelling against being your mother, and you don't want nobody that was like your dad. When in actuality, again, they lasted 47 years. And I am an advocate for saying, because I'm Mississippi blooded, I am an advocate for saying that there are some people who are married that should have been divorced a long time ago. But I don't hear them say stuff like, my dad or my husband is awesome and he is my king. And the husband is as balanced saying, this is my queen. That does not happen in long-standing relationships where they cannot stand each other and they beating on each other, or one is being beat more than the other and one is being abused emotionally, mentally, financially. It sounds like what you had were good parents who were being good mates to each other and trying to balance out each other while also trying to take care of the children. So just don't take into the next moment. That's the only reason why I had to just like come on and say, look, sis, don't punish the next man because you don't want to be your mama and you don't want somebody like your dad. That is almost what you want if you want to have a long-standing type of relationship, and being your mom is just about what you want to be like. Just about. Because I ain't like that part where you said your mom kind of like disowned you after you got a divorce. I ain't like that part. But, you know, it depends. Old school parents are kind of different.
Yes, they are.
And I don't even.
I was almost disowned because I dated a non-black man and I was in middle school. They still talk about me to this day. So, yeah.
And they make jokes about me to this day. So,
yeah, and we talking about middle school, and I'll be 40 next month, and they still be like, well, you know, she dates some foreigners, you know, she don't date black men. I was like, what? I love black men. Y'all trying to get me because I dated guys naturally and not because I was selecting them based on their race. Like, come on now, this is ridiculous. I love black men more than, you know. Man, they gonna call me a mammy for this one. They almost called me a mammy for this one, but I am pro-black first, then I'm pro-man second. Don't none of the women shoot me. Of course, I love myself, and I stand with my sisters, but
now you can date who you want. You know what I mean? You know, the world is vast and large. You know, you go where you celebrate it. That's where I'm at with that.
Dude, it's just that I realize when I'm dating the others, I don't want to marry them. That's a hard point. So, you know, when Uncle Stu had me on, boy, y'all go get on me. But
I do not
whenever I
approve
date the others, you say who?
I do not approve of this message. I just want to let all the red pill men know that I did not approve of this disclaimer. Okay, do not talk to me. I love black men. I don't know what she's talking about.
I mean, I love black men. I'm not riding with them crazy ones. Okay, I'm not riding with the crazy ones. But when I see a dark skinned man, boy, I be with like non-black men, and I be like, dang. What am I thinking?
All right,
I'm sorry. I gotta let you go.
When y'all wake up in the morning and Tough Love got this clip, and he talking about y'all, don't say nothing when he goes off on y'all in the morning about this conversation. What you gotta say, bro?
Love is love.
I need to head out, but thank you, Sue, for allowing me on once again. It's a great panel. I just want to say, you know what? Go where you celebrate it. You know, my wife is not black, but I'm happy. We have a wonderful relationship. So not to say nothing against black love. If you can't have black love, that's great. Right. That's fantastic. But just go where you celebrate it. Wherever that looks like, however that is, you know, do you, right? I mean,
mine is black. Okay. On American soil. Okay. The only foreign I had was an African, a Jamaican, and maybe a Afro Latin. Okay.
She said she taking your card, girl. She said you
My
gonna have
current
her
man is
double.
black. Majority of the men that I have dated have been black.
Yes.
It's just,
Well, I mean,
various points of my lifetime, I was like, look, like I'm a good woman. I can be with anybody that I feel like being with. If they treat me good, then we gonna go there. But like I said, I'd be looking at dark chocolate men
well, y'all
like, you
do
know what,
y'all,
baby,
whatever,
listen,
whatever
it's
that
not
is.
working out.
Well,
I
let
gotta
me.
Whatever
go with a
y'all,
chocolate
and
reside.
I love black love. Don't get me wrong, I love black love, but I
Let's
have
just
dated
kick
Love
it with
black
black
love.
you,
but you know,
Simon.
I mean, I love
well,
black love, but at the same time, I feel like if somebody gonna love you and love you for who you
yep,
are, they don't have to be black. I'm sorry, but
yep.
You
I
don't
want
have to
our
be
brothers.
apologetic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
want
you,
our brothers to be right. I want our brothers
Yeah.
to do the right thing. So I mean, I'm just saying, I love black men. I love them. You know, they ain't nothing like them. But at the same time, if that's not the case, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
yeah,
I hope
you gotta live your life. Yeah,
yeah,
you
I
gotta
hope
live
I
your
don't
life.
get
So,
tough love off.
yeah.
Did I
So,
ask
but
you a
I'll
question,
say
Andrea?
this. I'll say this, and then I'll go. So, and I just want to say, yeah, just wherever you go next, just don't just in general, ladies, please don't make the next guy pay for the last guy.
True,
That is the quickest way to end a relationship.
that's
That
true.
is so that is the quickest way because I've been in many in my day, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's just I'm not here to make things right from a ghost,
Yes.
so and I'll leave with that. You guys take care.
Okay.
All
Take
right,
care.
All
well,
right.
lady,
Bye.
I think y'all did an awesome job. And before we go, Adrian, how are you feeling?
Oh, I feel good.
Good.
This was a good conversation, and maybe I need to get a mirror to see where is it I'm not as good at, and maybe it feels like it's a point that I need to heal at, and I maybe I thought I healed, but people have shown me that it's some things that I need to go back and reconcile and rechange them,
And it's,
it's
and it's okay. I'm
yeah.
glad that you chose this platform out of every platform that's out here to even open yourself up to criticism, all in love, and to really take the time to hear people. I
Mhm.
am glad for everyone that came up on the panel and did not go after you, did not, scream at you and yell at you and
No,
literally
Andrea, we
strip
don't care.
you of
Mhm.
humanity,
Mhm.
because you didn't say one thing right. You
Mhm.
know, this platform, again, it is the empowerment of men and trying to get the women to understand the men that they love and want to be with.
True.
And the only way you can understand a man is to understand yourself.
I agree with that.
Mhm.
You feel me?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I am an uncle on screen.
Hmm.
I am an uncle off screen. I'm an uncle in private life. And I am the uncle here on the public stage. So you are my forever niece.
Okay.
You
Well,
got
thank you.
issues. You hit
Hmm.
that email and say, Unc, I'm going through.
Okay.
I got another niece,
Hmm.
and she does get on the public platform, and she gonna spill everything about what she going through.
Okay.
And I gotta sometimes go in her chat and be like, all right now, I hear you talking.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But she also gave me a way of understanding things that I can't say I've ever been through.
Hmm.
And so the best thing for me to do is to let her know she is loved, honored, and respected without strings attached. Because I need her healed too. Why? Because she's raising a boy.
Hmm.
You feel me?
Yeah.
In an environment
Hmm.
that she didn't choose.
Mm.
In a situation where she can't go to a mommy and a daddy to get some information. She's
Hmm.
doing the best she can with what she got in the environment that she is now found herself in.
Yeah.
Okay. And with that being said, she needed to know that she's loved for her as an individual, not for what she can do, not for who she getting ready to lay down with. She needs to know someone heard your cry. Got you. Because I need you to be a better woman than who you are now because you are raising a son. And I'm worried more about that son. But I can't deal with the son until I know the mother is right.
True. That's true.
You feel
I
me?
mean, I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
So, what people see, I need them to see that I'm not a personality, I'm a person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yes, I want my numbers to go up. Why? Because I can do more with 1,000 subscribers than I can where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
But is it so that I can show you my new car, I had all the financial things before.
Mm-hmm.
This because this is personal to me. It's personal to me.
Mm-hmm.
I can open up areas of this YouTube thing a whole lot more and be able to do more, to help more at 1,000 than I can at 700.
True.
But does it mean that the 700 don't mean anything to me? Absolutely not. Because it's not really about numbers. It's about the person. When Ace comes up here, I need him to know I see him as a person. I don't see him as a number. When Grego comes up here, I need him to understand I see him as a person, not as a number.
Mm-hmm.
I am at this level, I'm able to get to my comments. I'm able to get to my subscribers. I'm able to read the emails.
Mm-hmm.
Let me explain to you why I'm so personal about emails.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had a situation. Tough Love on his own platform talked about that situation. I sent 2 different emails, one to Tough Love, one to another content creator. Guess who responded within under 12 hours? Bingo.
Tough love.
And both content creators talked about the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, doesn't mean Tough Love went and wrote a dissertation. I didn't need a dissertation, but he acknowledged me, and that's all I needed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to move on with my life.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes all people need is just to be acknowledged. Even if you can't help them, they just want you to at least acknowledge them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So that's all I can do when I say, Adrian, I just want you to know somebody acknowledges you as a human being.
I know I do.
Thank you. As
I
a
agree.
person.
Thank
That's
you.
it. When someone
A
can
worthy and
listen
important
to
person.
you.
Thank you.
The process is us listening to what Andrea has to say and her feeling heard. Just the act of us listening is healing her. It is part of the healing process, and you don't have to delay it anymore.
I thank y'all. I really appreciate it, and I'm going to talk to my therapist tomorrow. She's gonna be the first one I call in the morning because I think it's some things I need to talk to her about. Okay, so I thank
Yeah.
y'all, and I thank y'all for pointing it out. I'm not mad. I appreciate this because if I'm gonna be better, if I'm gonna be somebody's wife, because I hope it be somebody's wife, I'm gonna be somebody's wife, and
You will be, sis.
and I'm already a mother of 2 right now. They're taking the showers. I want to be better for them and be a better mom for them. And so I need to make sure that I'm healed from the past. And so
Remember,
to be
this is not an event. It is a process.
yeah.
And I'm going through it too. So I'm going through the healing process. Like, I don't want you to feel like attacked or anything. So I actually just came, to let you know, like, hey, I'm not gonna let him go in on my sister, but I'm not gonna come against my brother either. But I wanted to come up here so you didn't feel outnumbered.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. I only came up here just for that notion of tidbit because I'm like, you know what? I think she needs to know that this is a real thing that is going on, and she deserves to have all the greatness that she wants because she wants to improve. I don't really get up and talk to people who I don't think don't want to improve. I think you do.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I got up here to talk to you. Otherwise, I wouldn't waste my breath. I don't like talking to people who really don't want to change or fix or notice what situations are. And like sis said, I'm going through something too.
Mhm.
I'm going through something too, and I recognize it. So it's kind of like
It resonated. Like with
yeah.
me, it was just like it was so I didn't want to make it a me moment. That's the only reason why I didn't tell my story. It would have been like way too much for you. Like we would have to do more of getting on Uncle's too for you to get to know me, because you're not gonna just open up to people you don't know like that. So you are gonna be guarded. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, the way I have to approach her is like, listen, you know what I'm saying? And like another thing, like I had a question, like, you know, like when it comes to like being submissive, and then I heard you say like, you would like in your, you know, probably your next, you know, marriage, to make sure to communicate with your husband to make financial decisions together. Did I hear that correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I had a question. I'm not
Okay.
saying it's gonna happen, but okay, say because your husband could be right around the corner, so we got to get you right and get me right because my husband could be around the corner too. So look,
Okay.
Amen.
say like no, for real, like say amen. Say like say okay, what if you get a guy? Like what if your husband is like, okay, I will make financial decisions with you before, you know, making any on my own, even if I want to surprise you or whatever. Um, what if he's like, okay, but you gotta, even if you sick and you tired, you gotta still make me a plate. Would you do that as a submissive? Would you do that for him? If
Yes, I'll
he
make my
was
husband a plate.
okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. She's potential. She could do it, y'all. See, okay, red pill men, I just don't come for her. Y'all heard what she said. Okay. Girl, I had to save you. That's all I had to save you. But I love you, and I'm about to go in the chat. I just had to. All right. I love you guys.
All right,
Okay.
love you too.
Okay, so I have a question. I forgot
Okay.
about it, but I have to ask you this question, sis.
Okay. Go ahead.
Now you said things that would happen would be like he would go out and buy a car and not discuss it with you.
Yes.
So I got to ask this question.
Uh-huh.
Did he spend it with his money or y'all money?
It was our money.
Okay, and then here's the next question. Because he takes care of all the bills and things, most likely he's going to take care of the car bills. But I have to ask the question. Why did it bother you?
Because Jesus.
Oh, she about to start this live in the extra 2 hours.
Yes, if he the type of man that you expressed that he was before, then he didn't get the car just to be willy-nilly and ride another woman in. So I gotta ask, why did it bother you that he went and got a car that sounds like it could have been for either work, business, or because something was wrong with his other car? So what bothered you that he didn't come and talk to you about it? And I'm not saying you're wrong for your feelings. I know it's a lot of women who be like, yeah, we need to be having this discussion. But I want to know why it bothered you.
It bothered me because I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, y'all. It's gonna be some men in the chat that feel like I'm wrong, but I feel like if we're in this together, we can't make this decision together. Why is it? Why you can't? I felt like, I'll be honest. I felt like my ex-husband treated me as the little girl and not the wife. Okay, because I was young and dumb about things, and so sometimes I feel like he made decisions without even talking to me because he felt like I could just make them decisions. And I
Okay,
feel like
I'm gonna say something.
God,
She said that little girl part of us, Stu. Did that trigger you when she said the little girl part?
Yeah.
I knew that's what it was.
Adrian, I'm about to piss you off.
Okay.
I need you to take this hardcore pill.
Okay.
But I need you to digest this pill.
Okay.
And then I need you to come back and say, Uncle Stu, I didn't like that medicine you gave. It took me a week to digest it. But yeah, I guess you were right. Adrian, he treated you exactly the way you was, a child. You came in acting like a child. You came in talking like a child. You came in walking like a child. You came in with no real understanding of being a grown woman doing adult things. Therefore, he had to take the responsibility and be the adult in the house. And we all asked you, did he buy the car for another woman? No. Did he buy a car for this? No. Did he? Guess what?
Oh, y'all went through this question.
Yeah, in a roundabout way.
Okay.
I want you to just take the pill. Don't respond.
Okay.
Just swallow it. Take some water with it.
Okay.
Okay. What did Tough Love always tell y'all? With the dance, he try to warn you before he give you the medicine. I just shoved it down your throat.
Okay.
All right. So that's the answer for that question. Because guess what? Jada LaRue asked you a question. You hesitated. She said, whose money? You know what you got sophisticated and said? Well, it's our money. So let me help you. Let me. I'm surprised I ain't got a bunch of hats in this chat right now talking about stop the cap. You capping. You capping. Because you know, now I'm going to really make it sound crazy. You ready? You know that your little daycare service business
oh my God.
did not turn around and had enough money to buy no car. So stop the cap with this. It was ours. Stop the cap. I told you, don't respond. Drink the pill. Talk to Uncle Stu in the backstage because you ain't gonna like that medicine. You ain't gonna like it. You ain't gonna like it. Because let me explain something. If you can't manage your own money, how can you manage his money? Therefore, how in the world can you manage a whole house budget? You done spilt the beans for 3 hours, so we know the truth now. Don't be trying to add some stuff over here and make it sound good over here. Just accept the medicine, let it heal you. The next man you come in contact with and y'all want to play house and get married, show that man that you can manage some money. And then even showing that you can not only manage money, you know how to make that money multiply. Then you can say, well, baby, you know, when we got these big financial decisions, because all of our money is going in here, then you have a right to say something. Now, to swallow it, you already know what Tough Love gonna say. You about to piss somebody off. I told you the pissed off part, but in a nicer way.
Okay. I get it. I hear you.
All right.
All right.
I just want
That's just a little something for the next time.
Okay.
Just a little something for the next time. I thought about it like, oh my goodness. I was like, I forgot all about the car and the money until she mentioned that. Like, I just asked that question just real quick because I just needed to know why it bothered you. And also it was for myself. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was for myself as well because it doesn't bother me in that way. And I've had many women say, you know, how you let him go and buy a TV? How you let him? And it wasn't until my last mate that everything that he bought bothered me. And it was because he was not good with money. Oh my goodness, he was horrible with money. And because he was, I was like, I got to help this man with his money. And what I decided to do instead was I decided that I would make the selections. And because it bothered me as a woman to have to make all of the decisions about the money and where it's going to go and what's going to happen, I was like, oh, you're not the man I want to be with. Because I need a man who is financially sound. That is going to save us for a long time. Even if there's some situations that happen, he is still a man. He's still going to get back on top of his game. And when I say, baby, that I was so happy I left that man, because he almost was needing to move in with me recently.
Okay.
He always needs to move in with me because he cannot afford where he was. And I promise y'all, I set him up with a job where he should never be broke. But after we broke up, that whole thing just went to kaput. Could you imagine me as a feminine woman trying to manage money the whole time? Telling the man he got to bring his money to me and I'm just going to give you this little bit. And whatever money you take out of the rest of the money, you got to pay back.
Yeah.
I might as well not be with you, sir.
That's right.
Yeah. That's
So
right.
that was for me because I was like, you know what? Another sister who felt like, why? But because your reasoning was different, then we have different circumstances. But child,
But Adrian,
you
I
know
am
what?
proud
To
of
be,
you.
to be honest, he has made me better with money. Now I understand. I understand now. With money, and he always, to this day, he laughed at me. He was like, "You never could do the budget right. You couldn't do this right." But he looked at me now and said, "Damn, Drea, you know how to save. You know how to put money away. I see you ain't get your cars messed up because I always did. But I'm better with money now than I ever have."
Excellent.
Drea,
Like
is that man still married?
Who?
Is my ex-husband still married? Yes, he is still married.
Girl, you sound like you about to get your man back.
What? No, I'm not.
You sure?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay. You done gave that man a whole lot of flowers on this live tonight. Like, yeah, he did it. He made me better. Yes, I would take him back.
No. You can still get somebody their flowers.
I believe you.
You can still get.
Right.
You had a phone call.
Yeah, sorry. You can still get somebody their flowers and still say, he's still not. It's somebody in my life right now, and I believe that's gonna be my husband. But I'm a work in progress right now. So it's somebody that's I hope, and I'm praying, and I'm working on myself. So I want to be a better person for him, and I want this.
Good.
Excellent.
So the things that y'all brought to my table tonight, I'm gonna work on because I don't want to lose this man.
Good. Good.
So yes.
Good. And listen, if you lose the man, just don't lose yourself.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go. Well,
because what you lose wasn't for you anyway, honey. You'll never lose what was meant for you.
Yeah,
Never.
That's right.
Yeah. But this man is truly different and truly special. And I want to be a better person. I want, and don't get me wrong. He said some of your ways, Drea. Some of your thinking is not. It gotta be better. So I'm a work in progress, and I want better for myself too.
Excellent.
Good. I'm proud of you.
I do believe in marriage. I do believe in finding somebody who is who's good for me.
And
good.
Stay there, stay focused.
Yeah. Okay. Stay marriage minded and intentional.
Surround yourself with women who are married.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because sis, I'm not married yet, but I'll see you soon with my 2 husbands.
Single women. All they're going to tell you is how to live a single life. Married women, it's going to teach you how to be married. I see you, JD LaRue. I'm concentrating on her. I'll bring you up on another show because you done got my chat asking about this 2 husbands stuff. And I let them know
about
I
that
have to bring you up. Matter of fact, love may have to upgrade. He may have to handle you. But Adrian, I just want you to know once again that you are loved. I'm Uncle Stu. Uncle got you. He's going to be always praying for you. He's only an email away.
Okay.
And he does read the emails.
Okay.
Now, if you email me at 12 o'clock at night and I don't respond to 6 in the morning, don't beat me up for the 6 hours now. I do have to go to sleep. Yes, you all the way on one coast, I'm all the way on another coast. You know what I'm saying? So, give me a little oxygen, but I will respond.
Okay.
All right.
And nice to meet you, Jayla. Now I can put a face to the thing. Nice to meet you. I'm so glad I met you. So nice to meet you. Okay.
I am glad that I met you as well, and it's nice to put a face to it as well. Same here, same here. And feel free to reach out to me. I am a single woman, Uncle
Okay.
Stu. Somewhat.
Okay.
I'm somewhat of a single woman. I'm not married yet. I've never been married, but I have a conscious mindset. So feel free to hit me about anything, even if it's not about dating and stuff. Feel free to hit me. I am open. I am friendly. If you hit me on Instagram, I'm most likely not going to respond for days. I'm bad with it.
Okay.
I'm bad with it. But if you hit me on Facebook or if you hit me through my email, which is come through at Jada LaRue, that's COMETHRU at Jada LaRue, JADALARUE.com, I'll answer.
Okay.
I'll
All right.
definitely answer.
All right.
So
Now,
I am here for you.
when she get about 30 emails,
Mm-hmm.
about 40 dudes done heard that email. I don't want to hear. Don't say Uncle Stu done put it out there. I had nothing to do with it. All
Uncle
right.
Stu just helping me get brother husbands. Thank you. I'm just joking, y'all. I'm a one woman man, but you know, push come to shove, if I get that option.
Okay. Okay.
But
So
no, I loved it. I'm glad that, you know, you loved it. I'm glad that you found a safe space and a
Yeah.
safe place.
Yeah.
And, you know, you got something out of it that you came with baggage and you able to leave some of that baggage right here, you
Yeah.
know. But you will be back because I see so much value that you can offer to so you know, it'll happen.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
So what
y'all
we
keep.
gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
I am getting ready to end this chat.
Yes.
And again, I want to thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. May the peace
Bye.
and the blessing of this panel
Mm-hmm.
and the chat be forevermore.
This is Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. Like, comment, share, and definitely subscribe. Emancipate your mind. Peace.